Oh man, what's really good though, family tree? Let me know how you doing. Hey, so what are you saying though, family? Are we up in the building right about now? If you are, right? All I'm gonna ask you guys to do is hit me up in the comment section right about now. Let me know that you're actually in here with me. Be a little bit interactive, yeah, a bit interactive. So wowzers. Like Jay Boogie's up in the building. Yeah, buddy. All right, so real quickly then. I was actually watching some videos today on my journeys, my travels, and just be like, wow, absolutely wow. I'm going to actually be dropping the link as well because I would love to actually get a nice little conversation flowing with you guys, nice to talk with you guys. A few people have been hollering at me as of recently via, the good old usual hangouts and stuff. But at times, when it's not moderated, it's absolutely pandemonium, chaos. I'm like, I can't deal with Isfet, when you see Isfet, when a man stands upon the app and you see Isfet, you just walk on the other side of the road because you're not trying to be involved. So yeah. Definitely invited. I'm gonna get you guys on there in a hot minute. So I was watching some, videos today. I said, all right, let me go and revisit the Mohammad Hijab and Dr. David Wood debate and Trinity and Tawheed. I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, mate. And you know what? I was listening to Mufti Abu Laif today as well. That's kind of one of the things I was listening to, Mufti Abu Laif, and he said that Mohammed Hijab won. And I was like, okay, cool. Say nothing. And again, because you know what? I expect better from people that I think is on a mad level, isn't it? Like, when someone's on a mad level that they can read through the BS, right? So if you, I'll give it to you 100%. Mohammed Hijab definitely did win in terms of like showmanship, arrogance, and all of that crowd, all of that. All right. If we're going to be judging debates based upon entertainment factor, okay, I would say yeah, Mohammed Hijab did his thing, right? Like definitely, okay. But if we're talking strictly information, and that's why it's so hard nowadays, right? Because we're so used to, well, not us, I say people are so used to the entertainment factor. They want to be wild, they want to be rude, they want to be like, they want to get that feeling in their tummy. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like that's not what it is. A debate is something to do with the intelligence of somebody, the intelligence of somebody's argument. Is it coherent? Is it succinct? Is it sound? Like, is it plausible even? I didn't see none of that from Mohammed Hijab. Like all I was, and maybe because we're all looking at the debate from different lenses. So most of us are coming from a lay perspective that we don't have a clue. We're just like, whoever sounds the best is the one that's winning to me. Them ways. But for those of us who actually do know and listen to what's being said there, and we're hearing it, we're like, what the hell are you saying? Like, what are you saying? And it's so funny because it's like so many videos have been made since that time. So many videos, and everybody's just refuting Muhammad Hijab. I've not seen one Muslim yet, jump on and say, "Let me refute David Wood." No one has done it because the information David Wood was presenting was sound information. That's the difference, right? Like, and then the information that Muhammad Hijab was presenting was like fallacious, straw man, red herring, fallacy, after fallacy, after fallacy, after fallacy. It's like, my goodness. It look like man has grown a phallus upon their head. Like, Lord have mercy. Mercy Lago. So, yeah. And then I saw David Wood. He done something today, which was just dismantling yet again. And I'm just thinking to myself, when are we, okay, going to start holding Muslims? And I'm going to say it like that. I'm going to be real with you. When are we going to start holding Muslims to actual account? Because it seems like though they say the most amount of nonsense and we let it slide. Like a week later, everybody's forgotten about it. But if it was anybody else, nobody ain't forgetting about it. Like everybody's going ham. Like, yeah, David Wood, you did this, or Kalam, you did this, or Sarah, or whoever. Like you'd be like on some mad thing. I think to myself, like, but why don't we have the same like standards for everybody? Or maybe it's like we expect the worst from a certain group of people, and that is really bad. You know the way it's there. You know when you see like a certain group of people, they're acting out and they're behaving all aggressive and trying to intimidate people. It's like people have just grown accustomed to accept, yep, that's just how they are. It's like, no, fam, we need to stop having that mentality because we're now, no, stop that anyway. Let me just stop that because that's crazy, absolutely crazy, right? So let's actually do this, let me drop you the link. Yeah, let me drop you the link, all right? And let me get some good Christians and Muslims on here because, and then as well today I had some, Muslims jumping on me, saying, oh, Kalam, the last video you did about Tawheed and the 99 names, and you're trying to compare that to Trinity and and I'm like, It's like I'm just reading your messages, right? I'm like, yeah, there's something going on here where it just seems as though you guys have got the same straw man fallacies going on. Why is that? Why do you have so much fallacies going on? Can't you not come up with some real good coherent arguments? God damn. All right. Simon James says, talking of nonsense, what is the backstory to the fabricated Muhammad's last sermon, which all Muslims use? No Arab is better than non-Arabs, etc. Have you seen my video on that? Well, did I do a video on that? Actually, you're right. I think I've spoken about this in the past, right? So yeah, that is some fabricated nonsense that no Arab is better than a non-Arab, and la 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 la. It's just a fabricated nonsense. Absolutely fabrication. Absolute fabrication. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but the last time I did check, I think somebody made mention of it to say that this hadith was constructed roughly in the 9th century. But yeah, it's just nonsense, to be honest with you. It's absolute nonsense. Hopefully, but again, these things are so like niche, right? That nobody doesn't even care. Like nobody don't care. They know it will be weak. They know that they're lying, but they will continue saying it. And then you pull them up on it, and they'll be like, oh. And then the next week they'll find like a fool that doesn't know anything about it and say the same nonsense to them. So it's like sometimes it's like, do I even care again to even be breaking stuff down? Because, anyways, overweening, Hubris declares a win. Nemesis always follows according to pagan mythology. Let's quickly see. Kalam, you are pre-cooking a hot meal. No, we know you want to brew something to spice something up in here. Yes, I do. I asked you for help and you leave me hanging, Titans TV. Okay. So shouts out to Google Plus for hitting up the super chats. Okay, so family, if you definitely want to get my attention, you definitely want to get my time and my energy and my resources up in here, right? All you got to do is hit me up in the super chat and I'll make sure 100% over everybody else, I'm gonna read out your super chats and get back to you. Okay, and of course, if you want to get the same thing as well, is hit me up on Titans TV so I can see what exactly you're posting. So Google Plus, like, let me know, what did I miss out on, family? What did I not help you on? And forgive me if I didn't help you. All right. Mohammad Hijab had better academic content in his introductory presentation. After that debate took a steep dive, David Wood was poor but didn't get swayed by personal insults, says Aditya Mohan. Was good, Pat J. I've seen the David Wood. Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the David Wood responses to hijab and so forth. And like if I was hijab, I would just stay in hiding for a good minute, right? And not actually have to, like, you know what he's going to do? He's going to let all this blow over in terms of, like, dismissed. Oh, what they're talking about. They don't know nothing. He's just going to try to dismiss everything to keep his image pure and clean. Because the moment he knows, the moment he responds to any one of these attacks, right, he's going to give them weight and credibility. And then people are going to actually read or research and see, like, hold on, Mohammad Hijab, you was talking crap all this time, wasn't you? You was talking absolute crap. I'm going to do that, yeah? Absolute crap. Oh, my God. Anyways, I digress. Okay. All right, cool. Child of the King, Titans TV. Yeah, buddy. Who's more intellectually honest, Mohammad Hijab or Woods? See, that's a good one, Hawaya. That is a very good one. In the debate, it came out as Wood, right? But at the same time, I'm going to be real with you. I wouldn't say, Okay, I would say that both of them are intellectually biased, right? Both of them are, right? David Wood on his channel is intellectually biased. I don't know if he's being, I can't say he's being intellectually dishonest. I'm going to say he's intellectually biased, right? And what was presented by Mohammad Hijab at the debate, that was intellectual dishonesty. I can actually say that was dishonesty. That goes beyond the point of being biased and not being able to see something from another side or another point of view. No, you're blatantly misrepresenting, misleading, and falsifying information. It was clear for everybody to see. I would love to see Mohamed Hijab take up CP's challenge. I don't see that ever happening, to be honest with you. Like, there's nothing like. Okay, let me show you something as well. Yeah, these individuals, okay, they're clout chasers. They're not really there, like him, Ali Dawa. They're not there to really educate people. Or they're not there to really nothing like that. They're not there for that. Okay, they're just there to amass numbers and following and fame, right? So they can line their pockets, right? You know, talking about, yes, we just need, there's over, I don't even know, however many thousands of people following us. We just need 500 people giving us £100 a month. Or £100, £100 or £100 a month, right? And we can carry on this mission. There's over 160,000 Muslims leaving Islam. 160,000 people missing out from Jannah. Because of these Islamophobes. Islamophobes like David Wood. He's causing all of them to convert and lose their faith. Weak Muslims, weak Muslims. Look at them attacking our beautiful hijabi sisters. Look at them attacking our elderly sheikhs and uncles. We need to fight this. And not with muscles, we need to fight this with intelligence. So we're going to do a database all of these Islamophobes. And we're going to refute them one by one by one. And we, the Muslimun, shall become victorious. All you have to do is sign up now. 500 of you guys. If this touches your heart, 500 guys, just to donate £100. £100. What is that? £100. We spend more than that on our shoes. We spend more than that on a pair of Jordans. We spend more than that on a pair of jeans. We spend more than that on a pair of winter jacket. But will you give your winter jacket to the Muslimun who are weak in Iman and faith? Will you give it to them? Will you give it to us so we can help them become strong? And we can show these Islamophobes. But it's all about money, family. It's all about money. That's all it is. We've already clocked the game. Ramadan came. Y'all raised what? £30,000 in 1 month. £30,000. Was it 25 or 30? It was 27 or something like that. I can't remember. But let's just say, I want to round up. If it's 27, it might be 27,000. But let's round it up, right? Because it's a lot of money already. Let's just say £30,000 in 1 month, Ramadan, right? £30,000, and they were able to do their studios and so forth, right? Then they saw that they've lost their jobs and stuff, and they saw that we can make some money out of this. Like, wow, okay, let's get our money on. So 500 after this debate now, 500 people, £100. How much is that? 500 times 100. Can somebody do the maths for me? Can somebody do the maths? Oh yeah, I need somebody here to do the maths. 50 Ross Clark £1,000. My goodness. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And I guarantee you they'll get that they can get that in the space of 1 day. 1 day they will get their 500 followers here to give them £100, if not more. Lord have mercy, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christos, Jesus Christ. He's just nice. He just lies like an imp suit. Look at the life that I've been through. The last real life is official. Whew. My goodness. I swear to God, I need to convert to Islam, baby. Like, sorry, like you guys, yeah. I'm gonna have to be real with you, yeah. Like, you lot don't support me like the Muslims would support me, you know, family. Imagine that. Imagine making 30 bags, right, in 1 month. Ramadan. 30 bags, you know, in 1 month. But now, after doing that debate now, yeah, and amassing all those followers, right? Just imagine how much money. 500 followers, £100 a month. For the next 12 months, 50 grand, 50 grand, times that by 10. Then add another 2 on top of that. That's like £600,000 B. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. But anyways, I'm not going to say nothing, innit? Like, I'm seeing through this, but you guys may not be seeing through this, right? So anyways, let's quickly, what are you guys saying, though? Would you dare to call the Dawa populists? Dawa populists? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, B. You're going to hell, my brother. I know. Oh, man. So, yeah, let me drop you guys the link, right? So, it's shocking. It's shocking. It's actually shocking. It's shocking. And I've already told you guys already, right? Like, these individuals, they pick the weakest individuals possible. They don't speak to people that they know is going to be a difficulty. That's why they won't speak to a Christian prince, right? That's why they would never engage with a Sarah Garvey again. After Sarah Garvey spanked both of them back in the day, do you remember those debates? Spanked them. Like, literally put them over his knees and started spanking them and letting them know that I'm your daddy. Yeah, when he started doing that, they had the amount of venom and hatred and violence in their hearts towards Sarah after that. Trust me. And then me by association, right? Like, I'm just Sarah's brethren. Like, I started getting the hate and the boycotts and the lies and the slanders and the name callings and insults and all sorts started to going on. Like, you know, even trying to like flag my videos and all sorts, bruv. Like, I was like, rotted. These people aren't easy, fam. They're really not easy. You can get killed just by association out here. These people definitely don't want to engage with somebody like myself, somebody like Christian Prince, somebody I even know. Give me some other names, fam. No other names. They don't want to engage with people like that. Trust me. It'll be game over. Don't forget the destruction of Brother Imam Bashir. Oh, that was a lot. I ask you for help about Child of the King YouTube channel to remove the strike if you can, Titans TV. I know, my brother, you did. Yeah? And I'm working, family. I'm working. Okay, I'm going to try help you out. Don't worry about that. I shall. Okay, I shall. Sometimes it's difficult to get in contact with people because some people don't want to answer their phones. But bear with me. All right, let's quickly see. Any of you guys trying to come on? Any of you guys trying to come on? Any of you guys trying to come on? The link never works. How do I add you on Hangouts? Just add me on Hangouts. Or another way you can actually do it, okay, is this. You can simply drop your email address and then I will add you, okay? Drop your email address and I will add you. Do that for me, if that's possible. What's your main question for your viewers on this topic? To be honest with you, I would really like to revisit, yeah, some of these things inside of the video, okay? And if I do, yeah, I already know, yeah, my channel is going to get like flagged and I might not be able to do any more live streams. I think we should actually go through it. Christian Prince comes across as a sophist who is least bothered about truth, but more about demonizing and demeaning everything associated with Islam. Yeah, facts. Okay. Now, and this is again, so let me talk about Christian ignorance. I just talked about are Muslims lost, right? I'm talking about Mohammad, Hijab and so forth, right? Now let's talk about Christian ignorance. Now, what I've seen, okay, a trend that's taken place with Christians. Actually, let me do this. Let me see if I go over here first. Let's try that. Man, like Ultra Funky's up in the building. If I go over here and if I can add the link to the actual description box, okay, if I add it to the description box, then you guys who are having troubles may be able to log in via that means. So if you guys go there right now and check, you guys should be able to log in and let me know if you can't. Okay, let me know if it's still messed up, but you should be able to go to the description box. Let me quickly show you guys what I mean. Oh, look at that. There's actually an ad being played on my channel. I haven't seen one of those in ages. That's mad. I haven't seen one of those in ages. You know, they're demonetizing my channel hard body, like hard body. That's sometimes I don't even feel motivated to do nothing because it's like, what is the point? You know, all that hard work and you're going to be demonetized. All right, so right here, if you click here, you should be able to jump on. If you want to support Titans TV, you know, we've got our Patreon. Oh yeah, you know, I haven't even hollered at some of my Patreon peoples, right? So let me just holler at my Patreons because I did receive, somebody donated $10 the other day. Yeah, so whoever that was, let me see if I can find you. Can I find you? And let me shout you out. I don't know how to do this. 10 Patreons. I don't know how to do it, but if I do learn how to do it, I would love to salute you guys, right? Because there's somebody who has donated, you know, $10. Look at that. Look at that. I haven't updated this for a long time, but I've been trying to make it up to $200 a month, baby, so I can actually, you know, can pay for all of the video editing software and the internet and so forth and so forth. You know, I was doing this so we could remove the ads from the channel. I remember I was doing that time ago just to make 200s, but we're, you know, we're almost there. We're a quarter of a way there. But yeah, salute to all you guys who have actually been donating. Trust me, we love you guys. You know, because trust me, all of this helps to pay for like the emails. I pay like my you know, the Titans TV email from this. I pay you know, some of the internet from this as well. So thank you guys who do actually support and donate to Titans TV. We love you guys for it, man. We love you guys for it. But anyways, where was I? So I've shown you guys here. There's the link if you want to join us. All right. Let's see. All right. So people have joined. So it is working. It is working. All right. Let's quickly see. Have you thought about doing an African history series covering Nok Empire, Zaram, Tuchit Empire, etc.? Do you know what? I have actually thought about doing a lot of these things, but like, trust me, I've got so many great ideas to be doing, right? But you know, when you don't have the time, okay, and the readily available resources to make it into something that would be great, so I'm not doing it based upon those reasons, right? So if we can get some support, i.e. other people who can come on Titans TV, and I'm not just talking monetary support, right? I'm just talking like if you guys have got some skills, research skills, or you have editing skills, or whatever the case is, right? We could do much greater things if other people, you know, chip in. That's what you got to do, is chip in. We make great shows because you guys actually come onto the panel, and the panel audiences, you know, have great discussions. It's you guys that actually make the show, to be honest with you. So if you guys have any skills, come on in, and we can do all of those great stuffs. We can construct all these great projects. All right. Let's quickly see. Oh man, we got Melanated Goddess in. So yeah, let's quickly do this. Let's quickly do this. Ultra Funky, talk to me, King. Ultra. Nope, no Ultra Funky today. All right. So let me say, TJ Singh, talk to me.
Hey, Kalam, how you doing, brother?
Jeez, I'm good. I'm good.
I guess the only thing I want to say is, I guess when it comes to Christianity and also to Islam, I mean, they both make exclusivistic claims that, you know, their way is the only way and everybody else's, or every other way, I guess, is defective at best and obviously hellbound. So the fact that they both make exclusivist claims saying that they possess the truth, obviously it's going to get heated because, you know what I'm saying, the Christian is going to say, no, my way is right. But then the Muslims is going to say, hey, no, my way is right. And then they're going to obviously, there's going to be a clash. So as far as I'm concerned, like if exclusivity is built into your system, then obviously it's gonna lead to that. I think, in my view. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I think hijab obviously came in with an axe to grind for sure. With David Wood, but David Wood seemed a little reserved to me. So that was kind of interesting to see because he's very vocal on his criticisms on the teachings of Islam. I did see that, Hijab did call him an Islamophobe, which I think is completely off base. But I mean, ultimately, when you're dealing with exclusivistic claims, and I would actually extend that also to communism and also to socialism, because they believe in this utopia, and that if we can just kill enough people, we can get to that utopia, basically. So, kind of two sides of the same coin. But I mean, when the ideology consumes you, and when you see it through only that lens, I think the consequences are pretty much so. I mean, it's kind of easy to see what those consequences would be.
Indeed, indeed.
Yo, Cal.
Whoa, we got Ultra Funky back. What's good?
Yeah, sorry, brother. Yeah, big up yourself, big up everyone on the panel, big up everyone in the chat. My contribution to this is simply gonna be whether you're Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, you're all wrong. Now, take a minute and let that sink in. Don't worry, I'll wait. Yeah. 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 You see what I'm saying? We can't all be right, but we can all be wrong. Take another minute and let that sink in. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Wise words from Ultra Funky.
Listen, that's all.
Amen, amen.
That's what I do. Like, remember, that's the thing. We cannot all of us be right at the same time, but we can all be wrong. Now, just humble yourselves, bury your ego, and just keep that in the forefront. And then, yeah, you're gonna find out. The penny's gonna drop soon.
Jeez.
And that's my contribution. Oh, Cal, listen, I just slung in a quick £2 for the light bill over at Titans. So you hang on to that and pay the electricity. All right.
Jeez, salute to my brother right there. I love that. Listen, I want to know though, are we ready to accept the possibility that we can, and are wrong? Can we accept that we could possibly be wrong in life? Can we do that?
Of course. I think you have no choice. I mean, I can speak for myself. I mean, when I was a leftist, I just thought that I was right and that, social justice is the way forward and, all the other BS. But when I read the arguments, against my position, and then I weighed it out, I was like, oh crap, I'm wrong. And I changed my mind. So I think changing your mind is the most powerful thing. And I think when it comes to the question of God in general, I think people are not scared. I mean, I don't know if I want to say scared, but maybe they don't want to consider that. What if there is no God? What if our existence has no meaning? What if our suffering has no meaning? Because I think it's the whole question of suffering, I think, has been kind of posited wrong. It's not so much suffering in of itself, but I think it's the meaninglessness of it. And and I would go one step further. What if Nietzsche was right? That God is dead, and ultimately it's all about not there being nothing ultimately, and trying to confront that. I think that's a profound question too, but nobody wants to go into that abyss, as Nietzsche called it. Because when you stare into the abyss, he said, it stares right back to you. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think that would also be a profound question, that if nihilism is true, can we as humans overcome that? I mean, I think that should also be a question that should be worth considering as well.
Jeez.
Because
I like that. Let's quickly read up here. I do not worship that which you worship, nor do you worship that which I worship. To you, your religion; to me, mine, says Shia Sharpshooter. Salam, salam, King. It was good. We've got Ezra up in the building. He says, creation can't be wrong. Now, laws or patterns in randomness, 100. Ricardo Robinson, okay, he dropped something that's very powerful here. He says, Kalam, according to the stats, 95% of all the stabbings in London is black on black. Can we discuss this, please? Especially stop and search. It seems to me that we blaming others, not ourselves. All right, Ricardo Robinson, right? I'm down for that. So what I would need from you is this, okay? You need to meet me halfway, All right? Because you know what they say, God helps those who help themselves. You take one step to God, God takes 10 towards you, baby boy. So what I need you to do, yeah, is just quickly find me a source, okay, or a website or a link or anything, an article, whatever the case is, post it in here, all right, and then we'll bring it up and then we will discuss it, because I like topics like that. I really do, okay? So make sure you do that for me and for us. We got Sarah Garvey up in the building. Yeah, buddy. What's good? Let's see. What else is going on? What's good? What's good? Who else is up in here? Dun, 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 dun. So let me think now. All right. So who we got here? We got Sir McIntosh. What's good, King?
Hi, Kalam. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm blessed.
So I heard you say that you saw that newest David Woods video.
Mm-hmm.
What was that about exactly, though? Because I haven't really seen it.
Like I want this is something I want some of my good Muslim brothers and sisters to come onto the show and discuss this, right? So David Wood talks about the unanswered questions and the straw man fallacies that Mohammed Hijab was espousing during the debate. So there was one topic in particular, and this was to do with Allah praying. Okay, Allah praying. I'm going to stop it like that because it does continue. It says, Allah, the angels pray for Muhammad, or Allah prays for Muhammad, and so forth. And he brings up other hadiths that Allah also prays. But check it now. The interesting thing is this: praying, Allah, God, the one, praying. Who is Allah praying to? Who is he praying to? That's the question that we've been waiting for the last how long now has it been a debate? Has it been a week yet, or hasn't it been a week yet? Hasn't been a week yet, right? It's been about 5 days? We've been waiting for the last 5 days. Okay, so Allah prays. Allah prays. I want some of my Muslims to come in here, right? Because Allah prays. Allah prays. And I've yet to hear any
himself, obviously.
Hmm?
Maybe to himself.
Well, it could only be to himself, right?
Yeah.
And if he's praying to himself, right?
Could it be Allah is praying for?
Yeah, he's praying
for something. For something.
Yeah, he's praying for something, but who's going to answer his prayer? Boom, boom, boom. So if I'm praying for something, so I'm praying for, this biscuit over here to enter into my mouth. I want to know who's going to answer that prayer. Who's going to put
me,
that
Kalam, me. I'll answer the prayer, Kalam.
Sorry?
I will.
You will.
I'll answer your prayers, Kalam. Don't worry about it. I got you.
I hope so. And we have to check it now. If you answer my prayers, right? It's not me answering it's not. I can't. It's something else, right? You're praying to something else to do something for you or for somebody else. So who is answering Allah's prayers? When Allah is in the time of want and need, who answers Allah's prayers?
I have this on the background. I have this on the background now, and I see that David Wood says something about hijab, that he lied about the word praying to or praying for.
That's right. So yeah, Mohammed Hijab, mischaracterized his argument. David Wood repeated on several times. Allah prays for Muhammad. Allah prays this. Allah prays for this, or pray for that. And then Mohammed Hijab comes and says, see, I know that you would have said that. Pray to. No, David would have said that. Allah was praying to Muhammad. He made sure he never said that. I'm not saying that Allah prays to Muhammad. Okay? Nobody's making the argument that Allah is praying to Muhammad. Simply that Allah is praying, full stop. That's number one. He's praying, which is the main issue or the main problem, and he's praying for Muhammad. He's praying for Muhammad, not to Muhammad. Okay? So if I say, yo, man like Sir Macintosh, I beg you pray for me. Or man like Ultra Funky, I beg you pray for me. Nobody's going to say, I'm praying to Kalam now. No, because you're not praying to Kalam. You're praying for my, you know, whatever it is. I might be sick right now. I pray that I get better, please, man. I beg you, pray I get better. And then you're going to go to your God, or you're going to go to your source, and you're going to say, Kalam needs your help. Oh, worthy creator, master, healer, whatever the case is, heal him. So who is Allah praying to? That's all we want to know. That's all we want to know. And I don't think anybody's going to have the answer. Hopefully, M-Stacks wants to come in. So M-Stacks might have the answer. Let's see if M-Stacks has the answer.
Wait, Kalam, so what's the prize if somebody has the answer?
Sorry?
What's the prize if somebody has the answer? What are they going to win?
If somebody has the answer...
Ultra Funky would donate £2 to their channel.
Ooh. I like that. You got £2 donation over there. And you've got an hour show on my channel to say whatever you like to say. You can cuss me out. You can, you know, show porn on my channel, whatever the case is, right? I know some of you are freaky like that, right?
Yeah, bro.
You know?
I'm involved.
Whatever you like, right? I've got the answer for it. I'm not gonna front. I already know the answer, right? But whatever, if you can do it, you're literally gonna be shutting up a lot of Christians. You're gonna be shutting up people like Anthony Rogers, Sam Shimon, David Wood, right? All of the American Christian apologists. You're gonna be able to shut them the hell up. Let's quickly see what Scattered Minds is saying right now. And who else we got in here? BNS says, all religions are BS. The only value is the ethics and how it edifies a person. From that point of view, Buddhism and Christianity are far superior to Islam. All right. Okay, so we got Scattered Minds says here, he's praying to himself for his creation to bring them to the light out of ignorance. So he's praying to himself, yeah? Scattered Minds, can I get you a confirmation that he's praying to himself? We just need the confirmation, baby. We just need the confirmation. Okay, any kid with sound mind will ask that question, Kalam. Yeah, buddy. All right, so we're still waiting for M-Stacks to come in, and we're still waiting for any of my good Muslim brothers and sisters to jump in. I know y'all watching as well, you know. I know y'all watching. Don't worry,
I wonder what
Christians in a little while. So
I wonder what Muslims say about this, though, that Mohammed Hijab was so disingenuous.
Boy, to be honest with you, this is not the first time. Like, just watch Speaker's Corner. Okay, watch Speaker's Corner, and you will see it all the way through. Okay, you know, I've fact checked a few people at Speaker's Corner, but I'm pretty sure if you just choose any Dawah channel, any video on the Dawah channel, right, or debate, right, play it back and stop it every second, every time a point is being made. I'm guaranteeing you'll be able to fact check somebody there. Guaranteeing.
Kalam.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing that Allah is praying. Is this in the Quran? Is this in the Quran or?
Yeah, this is in the Quran. Let's see if we can pull up some Quran right now. Let's get some Quran bars. All right, let's get some Quran bars. Allah prays and angels pray. Oh, did I write this ready? Okay. Okay, this is Sam Shimon. All right. Okay, they are those on whom are the prayers for their Lord. Okay, cool. Let me share my screen. So Sam Shimon seems to be the guy who's actually coordinated all of these coordinated everything into one article over here. Okay, if you want to go to it, it's called Answering Islam. But let's go to Corpus Quran and let's fact check some of these things. So let's fact check 2157. Okay, And let's just read it first in English. We are told in the Quran that the Islamic deity prays for his followers, especially Muhammad. Dun, dun, dun. They are those on whom are the prayers, salawatun, from their Lord, and mercy, rahmatun, and it is they who are the guided ones. 2157. All right, let's see. 2157. Uh-oh, sugar. I got it. Okay, those on them, salawatun. Let's just do this. From their Lord and mercy, and those they are the guided ones. Okay, so it does say that in the Arabic. Let's go to the English translation now. And there is different translations to it. Okay, and let's just read all of the translations. Those are the ones upon whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy. Such are they on whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy. They are those on whom blessings from Allah and mercy. Those are they on whom are blessings and mercy from their Lord. It is they who will receive blessings and mercy from God. They are those on whom are the salawat, blessings from their Lord. Upon those rest blessings and mercy from their Lord. It's funny that they've seemed to translate the word salah into blessings or blessings, yeah. Salawatu, okay, blessings. Okay, so it seems as though they've translated as blessings, but the word for blessings is barakah. But let's just see what happens over here. So right now, okay, we're going to Corpus Quran. Let's just have a little look at this, right? In every single verbal form of the word, it is pray. Except from, let's go to the little ones that it doesn't say pray. Okay, that one there. Okay, this one here. Pray, 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 prayer. Blessings. Oh, that's the one that we already read out. Prayer, 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 prayer. 9103. Okay, so these ones here. Let me go here. Prayer, 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 prayer. So it's unanimous that it all means prayer, but for some strange reason, okay, they've now changed this word prayer into blessings.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Bro, there has to be a place where it's used as blessings, no?
We shall soon find out. Let's see. So in 33:43, it says here, it is he who confers blessings upon you and his angels, that he may bring you out of darkness into light. Blessings. So this is anytime it's talking about Allah, as we see here, this is 33:43, right? 33:43. They've now converted the word prayer into blessings. Any single time they're talking about when it's coming from Allah for some strange reason. Let's just see if that is true. Okay. But among the Bedouins are some who believe in Allah and the last day and consider what they spend as a means of nearness to Allah and of obtaining invocations of the messenger. Unquestionably, it is a means of nearness for them. Allah will admit them to his mercy. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. So yeah. So I want to know, like, how did Salah change into blessings, right? They are the ones whom are the prayers. That's the proper translation. Prayers. He it is who prays for you and his angels to bring you forth out of darkness into light, for he is merciful to the believers, right? So we can understand when the angels pray, but we just don't understand how comes Allah prays. Anyways, verily, God and his angels pray for the prophet. God and his angels pray for the prophet. O ye who believe, pray for him and salute him with a salutation. Okay. So if I was going to pray for Muhammad, who would I be praying to? Surely it has to be Allah, right? Anyways, Anyways, and then it goes on over here with the hadiths and it says here, Allah and His angels and the people of the heavens and the earth and even the ants in their rocks and the fish pray for blessings on those who teach people good. So all these people, even the insects, are actually praying. Wow. What a wowza. Including Allah. So we have to ask the question, who is Allah praying to? That's all. M-Stats, do you know who Allah is praying to?
What? Which? I heard you lot were talking about Surah 2157 before, is that right?
Correct.
So basically, I researched this. So basically, I was reading this here. One of the most authoritative non-Muslims, what's it called, lexicon on this. His name goes by E.W. Lane. Have you heard of him? Edward Williams Lane's lexicon. He actually.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
yeah. Lane's
So what he said about this, let's see what he said. He did an in-depth analysis about the word in question, Salah. From Lane, we learned the meaning of the word when said does not refer to Allah praying, but it refers to Allah giving blessings, having mercy, or magnifying and giving someone honor. So this is one of the biggest lexicons. What's his name? Edward William Lane. That's what he says about it. He totally disagrees with the Christians critics. I'm reading an article right about now. So I don't know what to say about that, but in this instance, this person saying is basically magnifying, giving blessings, having mercy. That's what he derives from it. That's what I have to say.
So if I was to ask you, what does the word Salah mean to you?
Salah can mean a lot of things. Praying, blessings, dua. It can mean, what's it called? It can be a lot of Arabic. You can't just say one thing. It means one thing. In the context of the verse, you have to look at the context of the verse, who's speaking, why they're saying this. That's what this person is. I'm reading this article. That's what this guy is saying. So I was going to say.
So can I give Salah to you? I want you to accept my Salah.
Salah, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of saying, I'm giving my salah to you, I'm giving my blessings to you,
Okay.
I'm showering my mercy, but you saying it and Allah saying it's two different things.
Okay, but can you give me Salah, please? I would love for you to give me some Salah right now.
But that doesn't make sense in the context that the way you're saying it. In Arabic, there's a form of speaking. So you have to look at the context of what you're saying. And sometimes when you use the word salah and you say kalam, you're saying it. And if Allah is saying it's two different things, because we know the attributes, we already have the context of who Allah is. He's the creator. So when He gives salah and when you give salah, it's totally different things.
But would you ever give me Salah though?
But I just told you that doesn't make sense in the context of the way you're saying it. Look at the way you're saying it. Are you gonna give me salah? You should say, are you giving me dua? Are you giving me prayer? Are you giving me blessings? In that instance, that makes sense.
So would you give me dua?
Yeah, I would.
You give me dua, yeah?
Yeah, I'll pray for you, innit? I'll pray for you to accept Islam, innit?
No, not to pray for me, but would you pray to me?
Pray to you? Yeah, I could pray. Whoa. I don't know if you... Say that again.
Would you pray to me though?
Would I pray to you?
Yeah, just do a couple of salah for me.
No, I can't.
No, you can't.
I can't.
Okay, but Allah can though, right?
I can't. Yeah.
I already know this. I already people that think this is strange. I already know Allah does salah to me already, so that's fine.
Why do people think it's strange? I don't understand. If Allah saying it and Kalam saying it, it's two different people.
Yeah.
One is the creator, one is the creation. So when Allah says He's giving salah, when He's giving blessing, when He's giving mercy. In this instance, I believe when you read the context of this verse before, verse after, in the article, you can just check it out. I'm put the link in the background here from the Lane's lexicon. He actually disagrees with this other guy, this Christian missionary, I forgot his name, that came up with this idea of Allah praying to refute the idea of Tawheed. So he actually gives an in-depth analysis of how they mistreated and manipulated that verse.
So I'm gonna let you guys jump in and have some fun. Yeah. Anytime you don't want to come in, remember the link is down below, right? I'm just gonna just enjoy life right about now. I've set up the show for you guys. This is your guys' show, right? So whenever you guys are ready, let me know. Okay. I actually did want to play some Mohammad Hijab. and catch some more joke. But I'll let you guys have a discussion amongst yourselves. Is that cool? Or do you want me to just do some more?
Yeah,
No,
sounds
Kalam,
good.
listen, the only thing I'll say is you do have to go easy, right? Because remember, this is new information to people. Yeah, so they're in the process of not only having their minds blown, they're experiencing anger, frustration, disbelief. So it's emotional. It's an emotional time when you read or find out that your deity is praying to the prophet. So
Oh no!
No.
Didn't I just
No.
explain that? I just explained. You haven't heard what I said. Did you just hear what I said to you? Or you
Nah,
just,
let me stop you there. Wait, before you do that, let me just correct you. Yeah, Allah is not praying to the prophet; He's praying for him. But then you have to ask yourself the question: who is he praying to? Because once you're praying, you're supplicating, you're asking for something from somebody or something.
Why would you say he's praying though?
no, but that's the point, M Stacks. This is what I'm saying. This is new information.
It's
So
not new information to me. But
No, bro. Oh, so you know that Allah was praying for Muhammad.
he's not praying. That's all. You haven't heard what I said. I said he's not praying. That
Bro,
word.
he's
He's not
disputing that.
praying. Okay.
Nah,
He's
not
disputing
Mohammed
that.
Hijab agree that he was praying for
I
Mohammed?
don't know. I don't know if he agreed. I should watch that again. But did he agree?
Yeah, would you like me to play it?
Yeah, you can play. Yeah.
Oh, let's do that. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see.
You don't want me to post this link in the
Yo,
background.
before you play that, Kalam, are you saying that all the scholars were lying when translating those verses?
Say that again.
So you're saying that the scholars that were translating the Quran verse, like rather than saying prayer, they were writing blessings. Are they all
See,
liars?
I don't agree with translations. There are some corrupt translations that you don't read and take it for the real word of the Arabic. And I think Kalam,
No, bro. That was done by
his refutation.
that was done by Kalam pulled up those verses which were translated in English. They were all Sahih International and all the main translations.
Yeah. No. I don't agree with translation. I just read the Arabic and I translate what I can see and read the context of it. Sometimes the English translation is manipulative and you read it for what it is.
I mean, if Mohammad Hijab agreed that it says prayer, that means that the translations given in English they're all lies.
Yeah, I don't have to agree with Mohammad Hijab. Do I have to agree with him? Is he a scholar? What is he?
Okay.
No, I'm not saying you have to agree. I'm just saying if he says that according to him, going by him, those translations are lies.
Let's quickly play some Mohammed Hijab and telling you what the word salah actually means. Let's see it. This is from David Wood's channel, by the way.
And he prays to the Prophet. There's a difference between yusalli.
Sorry, I'm doing it too fast, aren't I? At least let's just get it 1.5. I don't want to spend too much time.
Lahu and yusalli ala in the Arabic language. I knew this was going to happen. He does go on to say later in his rebuttal that salah comes from a root that refers to connections, but he admits that salah means dua, that's supplication. He says, salah, he actually asked me for something linguistic. He said, what's the linguistic basis that the word salah, what does it come from? Etymologically, the word salah comes from the word sila. Sila means connection. So it can be any connection. It doesn't necessarily always have to be prayer. And the word actually salah means dua. What does salah mean? And the word actually salah means dua. So Allah prays, he supplicates. That was my entire point. If Allah prays, he's either praying to himself or he's praying to someone else. Either way, Muslims have a problem. That problem was never addressed. Instead, Mr. Hijab, who knew that I would be bringing up this point, accused me of saying something that I never said, then ridiculed me for saying something that I never said, and finally agreed completely with what I actually said.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! So what are we saying then?
And there you have it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that the scholars which are translating, man, these are some shoddy people, bro.
You can say that.
But you can really see the disingenuousness of Mr. Hijab here. Really, it's mind-blowing.
How? I don't see it disingenuous at all.
Can you play the video a little bit more, Kalam? Because Mr. Hijab, in that piece, accuses David Wood for saying to Mohammed, while David Wood said a couple of times for Mohammed.
I think we know this. I think we all know that. I don't want to play too much of the video because we know this already, don't we?
Well, apparently not everyone.
Yeah, but let's move on. If he said it, he said it.
Okay, so we need everybody to bear witness to the truth, you know. So you do realize, right? Mohammed Hijab said that salah means prayer, right? Dua, yeah, supplications, right?
Dua.
Yep,
Look how much
yep.
words. Look how much words used there. Dua, supplication. I told you, there's many words for the same meaning. You can
Okay,
mean prayer,
so,
dua,
No, but
supplication.
Mr. Hijab admitted it. You could see it in the video. He said it was dua.
but what does
Dua.
dua mean then to you?
Dua means supplication.
Okay, and who do you supplicate to?
Allah.
All right. So then, if Allah is supplicating, who is Allah supplicating to?
But I don't agree with Allah supplicate. I never said that. You just
Okay,
forcing
well,
that.
this is what Muhammad Hijab is saying.
Yeah, Muhammad Hijab saying, yeah.
So do you think that Muhammad Hijab is wrong then for saying Allah supplicates?
I don't agree. I don't agree in it.
Okay.
I read tafsir. I
But
read
did you
tafsir
think it was
as well.
disingenuous from Mr. Hijab to say it and to later lie about it?
But I read a lot of tafsir as well. After I heard that as well. What Al-Tustari commentary also speaks about it. He says al-salawat, it means blessings upon, bestowal, mercy upon them. So he also.
So Stacks, why don't you take a minute and pull up those tafsirs that you're talking about, and we can all see that.
Bang on. I'll put it in the back channel.
But what do you think of Mr. Hijab being so disingenuous, Mr. Stacks? Do you agree that he was disingenuous, or what's your opinion about that?
No, I actually believe Muhammad Hijab was bang on, man. He caught for it, and he's bang on throughout the whole debate, man. David Wood is the biggest liar I've seen in my entire life, man.
Yeah, but you just see Mr. Hijab lie. You just saw it with your own. You could hear it, you see it, and then you say he was bang on, which is simply not true based on the facts we could see. So, aren't you a little disingenuous now too?
Why are you just homing in on what's called hijab? What about David Wood for lying, making up stuff?
Because I just saw that on the video.
So do you agree with David Wood making up stuff?
I don't know if David Wood made up stuff, but what I saw here was Mr. Hijab basically simply straight out lying.
Did you watch the whole debate? Or you just
I didn't see the whole debate, but I saw this part now, and I saw Mr. Hijab lying.
No, I didn't see that. What did you saw?
You didn't see what Kalam just showed you. You put your fingers in your ears, or
are you?
Or do you think he made a mistake?
I just heard him saying salam is pray upon, not pray to. That's all I heard.
Yeah, but he accused David Woods of saying two. Well, David Woods said four.
But I never heard that part.
As Hijab said. So.
Did you hear that part? I never heard that part.
Okay, then go watch the video maybe, and then you could see it for yourself.
Probably here at the moment, innit? But unlike David Wood, actually came up with scripts on his laptop, lying and making up stuff. I think that's worse, isn't it? Would you agree with that or not?
I can't say that. I didn't see him lie, so.
Oh.
I mean, to be honest, though, that debate got progressively worse as it, as it went on. I think.
Hold on, can I quickly do this? Let me quickly do this, though. All right. So we need everybody to bear witness to the truth. So let's see if we can get people to bear witness to the truth. Let's do this.
The Quran claims, surely Allah and His angels pray for the Prophet.
What did he just say? Pray for the Prophet. Can I get you guys to mute your mics, please? Mute your mics, thanks. Mute your mics.
1 second. My phone's stuck.
Mr. Hijab was ready for this, so he proceeded to smash my mistranslation. He says, Allah says that Allah yusalli ala nabi, and he's here saying that he prays to the Prophet. There's a difference between yusalli lahu and yusalli ala in the Arabic language. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to have to give you a free Arabic lesson here today. I knew it. And that's why the translators put for, not to the Prophet. You don't know what the words in Arabic mean. Don't speak salah. Come on, please, don't embarrass yourself. According to Mr. Hijab, what did I say? And he's here saying that he prays to the Prophet. What did I actually say multiple times? Surely Allah and His angels pray for the Prophet. Allah and His angels pray for the Prophet. What's the correct translation? And that's why the translators put for, not to the Prophet. So Allah prays for Muhammad is the correct translation? For, not to the Prophet. And what did I say was the correct translation? Surely Allah and His angels pray for the Prophet, for the Prophet, for the Prophet. So my career is over because I mistranslated the Arabic by translating it the exact same way Mr. Hijab translated it. And he knew that I would bring this up. So this was his prepared refutation. Notice, he didn't deny that Allah prays. He denied that Allah prays to Muhammad. But I never said that he did. I said that he prays for Muhammad. As a side note, Mr. Hijab and I are both interpreting the language here in the same way. The Quran literally says that Allah prays on Muhammad. I don't quite understand what it means to pray on someone. I assume it's another way for saying pray for. Just as when a Christian says, can I pray over you? It's another way of saying, can I pray for you? But whether or not Allah prays on Muhammad really means Allah prays for Muhammad is irrelevant. The real point here is that Allah prays. Surely Allah and his angels pray for the Prophet. And Mr. Hijab admits it. So how does he get around the argument?
Boom.
Or do we need more?
Oof. Oof.
So,
Oof.
Mr. Stacks.
This is too hot, man.
Mr. Stacks.
Mr. Stacks, you said Hijab was bang on, but what do you think about this?
Hey, that's a minute mistake, man. Come on, man. Yo. Let's not jump on one.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all heard enough now.
You lot home in one thing, man. If you look at the whole debate and watch what David was saying and how much lies he was saying.
In that video, David Woods exposed more lies. So I really suggest you watch it.
Let's stop.
I watched. Oh, you never watched it.
Hold on, Stacks, my G. So we've just seen, okay, Mohammed Hijab blatantly. Let's say, no, I want to say, I want to be kind, but let's not be kind. Let's just say Mohammed Hijab lied. Somebody said it right here. Busted. Whoopsies. All right, we've seen it. We've all bear witness to it, right? We can all say facts. Mohammed Hijab was a goddamn liar in that particular incident. Or you spouted misinformation, right? Just to be kind. Misinformation. Okay, so we can find misinformation from Mohammed Hijab. Can we find any misinformation from David Wood? And if so, provide your evidence if indeed you are truthful. So M Stacks, I would invite you to unmute your mic and give us one, only one. We don't need to say the millions and the millions of lies that David Wood, supposedly spouted. Just give me one, just one. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for it now. That's gonna take
From the time you tell me you have to go look for it, I know you ain't got any. Do you remember anything from the top of your head?
1 second. Just give me 2 minutes, man. 2 minutes. You're gonna take me long.
All right. I've got a feeling that your phone might mysteriously cut off within that 2 minutes, and you won't be able to come back on again.
I don't do that.
All right, so it's 3:48 now. I'm going to give it to you till 3:50. Let's keep on going, family. So yeah. Does anybody here like to come on and defend and say, no, Allah was not praying? Okay. Or you could simply come on and tell us, yes, Allah was praying and he was praying to himself. Or he was praying to somebody else. Right?
I told you that. I don't agree with the word praying in that instance, man.
Okay. Okay. We remember you're still on the clock. 2 minutes, B. Focus on getting the evidence. All right. So, anybody else? Anybody else would like to come on and give us some information? Oh man. young Kalam, baby. Allah also has a Zujun, a wife. Okay. Amen. Okay, cool. What you guys saying though, family? What are you guys actually saying? Let's see if we can get any more fact checks in. Can we get some more fact checks in? Anybody? Let me know. Can we get some more fact checks in? No, none of you lot on the fact check. All right, let's do this then. I'm gonna do this, right? Let's fact check some of the Christians right now. If there is a fact check for a Christian, let's see. Let's see. We'll go over here.
These are the questions I want the answers to today. Question 1.
Numero uno.
Why is it that in the Old Testament you do not find the Trinity mentioned or inferred? And if it was inferred, why haven't the rabbis, the Jewish scholars, for 4,000 years of Hebrew history inferred it?
Stop. Question to my Christians. That's question 1. Are you able to answer that question? Christians, let me know. The heat was just on the Muslims. Now. Or my Hebrews. Now. Hey, what are you doing, Ezra? Those are my arguments. All right. I'm gonna say to you, Ezra, yeah, don't use my arguments, baby boy. Use your own arguments. Thanks. I tried to be a man. Can't talk out ignorance. Got to be honest about what you know. I do have a good perspective on this, though. I think, though, not sure it's right. However, I want Kalam's answer too. Okay, we are comfortable. We are comfortable to explore the verse. Allah prayers. Who does he pray to? Let's see. So what are we saying? Christians, where you at? Christians. Oh, Christians. I need some answers. I need some answers. I need some answers. He's gonna give me. And yeah, don't worry, later on, scattered minds, I'll give you the answer as to who Allah actually prays to. I'll actually give you the answer. It's a simple one. Dun, dun, dun. So what? No Christians want that smoke, no? So you lot are comfortable when the Muslims are getting it, yeah? But you yourselves don't want any of it. Titans, please ask him, will he dare to debate CP? Listen, M-Stacks has been on CP's channel, yeah, for the last like 5 days on a consistent basis. All right, let's get Ezra on. Ezra, the link is below. It's in the description box. It's everywhere, man. It's absolutely everywhere. So please come on in and, answer this question. All right. We're going to get a Hebrew Israelite in to answer these questions. Titans TV, scroll back. Scroll back where? So the link has been sent. Let me just quickly check. Have I got any messages? No messages. No messages that I can see. So still waiting for you guys to come on, if you want to come on. But as we're waiting for my Christian brethren to come on and actually talk about this. All right, the first three verses. Okay, let's quickly. All right, the first 3 verses of the Bible prove the plural Elohim. Okay. You know me, I don't have no argument for that. What was the question, Kalam? So the question was quite simple. Where in the Old Testament is the Trinity mentioned, inferred? And in 4,000 years of rabbinical history, why hasn't the Trinity ever been mentioned before? Okay, so it's showing and proving in Jewish scriptures or via Jewish scholars that they have made mention of the Trinity, or it infers with inside of the books. Okay, Ezra, drop me your email address, King. Drop me your email address right here, right now, real quickly. Let me take it off screen share so nobody else can't see it, and then just delete it as soon as you posted it. Well, not soon as, give it 5 seconds. All right, so while waiting for that, let's get M-Stacks to answer the question. Can you show us where David Wood lied?
Yeah, 1 second. Basically, he said the Quran is the mother of books. Can you remember that? Mother.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, that's actually wrong as well. He says in the Quran, Ummahat al-Kitab. That actually word, another instance, it actually means the main books. Mother in this instance means main. Another instance where he lied is, he said, Allat al-Manat al-Uzza. And he says, he tried to say, this is a Trinity in the Quran. And then he tried to say Mary, and the Quran gets the Trinity wrong again. That's actually, basically, I looked at it right now, that's another wrong claim. Sorry about that. So he says basically, the Quran says, Al-Thalatha is congregation is actually talking about every single Trinity that the Christian try and make up. Some of the Catholics say Mary, whatever, she's God. And basically, they would try to come and say, what did he say? I forgot what he said, man. I'll just read it in 1 second. Give me 2 seconds again. 1 second. Yeah, he said the Quran gets the Trinity wrong. He said that if you watch the debate, he says implicitly the Quran gets the Trinity wrong. You heard that as well? Or am I getting that wrong?
Okay.
And the Quran.
Can we get you to stick to just one? Which one would you want us to tackle right now?
The mother of Quran, whoever he says that
Kitab.
Kitab, yeah.
Okay. So does the Quran call say the Kitab?
But you mean something else basically. Yeah, it means main. The word ummah can mean mother, it can mean main books, it can mean a lot of things. But he tried to narrow it down to mother, which he actually got it wrong, and he got corrected by the brother Mohammad Hijab. But that's a minor point. That's a minor point. I'm trying to talk about where he said the Quran gets the Trinity absolutely wrong. That's what I want to home in on. And
Okay.
actually the Quran.
So the Trinity one is the one that you want to home in on rather than the other one.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So let's go into that one. So as we're going into that one, what does David Wood say? He says that he gets it wrong, number one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number two,
let me just pull up the verse.
So how does the Quran not get the Trinity wrong?
Let me just, the Quran says, and 1 second, man. The Quran says thalatha. It talks about three in general terms. That can be the mother, the son, the Holy Spirit. In some sects talk about that. It can be the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. But he tried to narrow it down to what they believe: the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And when the Quran speaks about when some Christians believe the Father, the Holy Spirit, and Mary, he tried to add them two together and say, "Yo, you lot got the Trinity wrong." Whereby in another verse it says, "Thalatha, do not say three." Explicitly it says to what's it called, to the Christians, addressing the Christians, do not say three. It's not good for you. Don't claim what Allah never has said. So the Quran says in general. So it talks about one specific sect. It talks about the Catholics. Then it talks about generally. It talks about all Christians. They say the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and he says in the Quran, do not say three. It's not good for you. That's don't claim something Allah hasn't claimed. That's what I want to home in on.
So I was just saying that, right? Do me a favor then.
Yeah.
Can you bring me up the link itself?
Okay.
The chapter. Just give me the chapter, right? And then we can bring it up on the screen, and we can do all that good stuff. You guys, what are y'all saying? You know I'm going to get somebody on in a minute just to cause more tension, right? Oh, don't do it. Oh, don't do it.
Oh, Kalam, you're going to get into trouble now, bro. Watch yourself. I said, watch yourself. You might get in some trouble now.
I know. Goddamn. Goddamn. All right. Sorry. I'm really not even concentrating on the show, I'm actually there messaging people. All right. What the hell's a bug? Oh, sugar. Give me a second, family. Actually, yeah. Sorry, do your thing, G.
Peace, family, peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sophistry. Okay. I don't know if you've gone into it, but yeah, Mohammad Hijab is a sophist. What is sophistry? Sophistry is a use of clever but false arguments, especially with the intention to deceive. So he's actually smart enough to know that he was actually deceiving people. Same thing that Shabir Yusuf did when I was debating him. He was smart enough to know that he was deceiving me, but the argument sounded cool, but knowing that the argument is deceptive. So their top quote-unquote scholars or their top quote-unquote speakers are very well versed in sophistry, and people need to really check. Like, you've had to fact check so many things that sound great when people are speaking, right? But when you actually fact check it, it's a goddamn lie. Okay, so you have to understand that this is how these people operate, man.
What I thought was really disingenuous was that Hijab was so aggressive against that Christian guy, but in the end he turned out being a liar himself. So he's a hypocrite as well, and that's really something.
Come on, guys, man. You expect him to be nice to a person like David Wood? Come on, man.
If you are aggressive against someone and later turn out to lie yourself, then you're not better as the one you are aggressive to.
Okay, so where were we? We want to get to the Quran bars, right? Can we get some Quran bars right now?
So, Kalam, the verse is 2171,
2171. All right, this is why I love being on here, where we can actually share our screens and
Sorry, 2157.
2157. Seems as though we've already been on here, but maybe not. Okay. No, this is to do with the praying on.
Oh, sorry. I got my links wrong. 1 second. 4171. Sorry.
4171. That sounds more like it. That definitely sounds like more like it. That's Surah Al-Nisa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to the English. It says here, O people of the scriptures, do not commit excess in your religion or say about Allah except the truth. The Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, was but a messenger of Allah and his word, which he directed to Mary and a soul from him. So believe in Allah and his messengers, and do not say 3. Deceased. It is better for you, indeed. Allah is but one God. Exalted is he above having a son. To him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. And sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs.
So basically, if you just look at there, he says, basically just describe the Messiah being the son of what's called the messenger, not the son of God. And then he says, do not say 3. Desist, don't say this. It's not better for you. It's bad, don't say 3. And then when David comes up and says the Quran gets the Trinity wrong and he gets the concept of Trinity wrong, but here he's actually denying the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. He's telling you not to say this. But then he goes to what he's talking about. Let's pull up what he's saying. What's that verse? Mary, the Father, the Holy Spirit. I forgot that verse. Just put that up as well.
Have you got a verse?
I'm trying to pull up what he said in the verse. I forgot what that verse was now. But he said the Mary, the Father, the Holy Spirit. If you don't know it, can you just tell me if you don't got that?
Okay, let me just do this. Mary, Trinity. Quran. There you go. Love that. So Mary, Trinity, Quran.
What's the reference?
Might be 573. Let's see. What does it say? God is the Messiah, son of Mary, have defied God. Messiah says, children of Israel, Lord your God. When Allah, O Jesus, son of Mary, did you say to the people, take me and my mother as deities besides Allah? He will say, exalted are you. It was not for me to say that which I have no right. If I had said it, you would have known it. You know what is within myself, and I do not know what is within yourself. And indeed, it is you who is the knower of the unseen. Yep. So what about this?
So basically, he's trying to say the Quran got the Trinity wrong by saying Allah, and then he says Jesus, and then he's talking about Mary, and then he says that's a Trinity in the Quran. That's the concept of Trinity in the Quran. That's what I'm saying. That's a lie again. That's a lie I'm talking about.
Okay, so there is 3 gods here, or 3 people that have been implicated as gods, right? If you take me and my mother as deities besides Allah, so you got Jesus, his mother Mary, and Allah, 3 different deities.
I understand that point. But then if you read on, it says, then Allah speaks to them and they say no. All of them say no. We never said that. But getting back to the point, he just took this specific verse and superimposed his Trinity concept that is mentioned in the Christian Bible and tried to use that other than reading the whole Quran and tried to contextualize this verse with the other verse that I talked about at the beginning, where he says, do not say free. Explicitly, this is not good for you.
So I'm failing to understand where David Wood has lied.
There, where he just said the Trinity, Quran got the concept of Trinity wrong.
Okay.
That's where he lied.
Okay, so the Quran got the concept. So your argument is the Quran got the concept of the Trinity right?
Yes.
Okay. Could you show me the Quranic concept of the Trinity?
The Quran just generalizes it. It says, do not say free. So that's talking about everything.
The Quran has a general understanding of the Trinity and doesn't give an explicit verse of the Trinity.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you look at
hold on, let me ask a question. If it doesn't give an explicit verse of the Trinity, right? Well, it doesn't talk about Trinity, number one. Okay, the Quran does not talk about a Trinity. It talks about three, thalatha. Okay, three, not Trinity, three, right? And then we see here that Jesus is a God, Mary is a God, and Allah is a God. Could we say that this is at least one of the thalatha that the Quran is talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Then.
did you get what I said to you?
Therefore, hold on, stop. Therefore, David Wood has not got it wrong or has not lied. Rather, you've misunderstood.
Oh no, he has lied, because what I said to you, yeah, he said the Quran gets the concept of Trinity wrong. And if you look at every tafsir, every single tafsir about this verse, he doesn't say what he's saying. He talks about people getting it wrong, and then he says he tries to what's it called? How to say this? He tries to use the Christian concept of Trinity, where the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and he's got that in his brain. And then he looked at the Quran where he says Mother, Allah, and the Holy Spirit, and he said that's another three. And then he tries to say, yo, this the Christian concept, you got it wrong. So your Allah doesn't know the Christian concept in the beginning. So how you like talking to us? That's what he's trying to imply. I don't think he's not coming through the route you're saying. He doesn't say there's one Trinity in the Quran and there's another Trinity in the Quran, and he's trying to hone in on one of them. No, he's saying the Quran as a general book got the concept of the Trinity wrong. Where he says in the other verse where I showed you, he says do not say three, which then you could imply from that verse is talking about the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Okay, you could imply, but it doesn't say explicitly Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, does it?
Yeah, he doesn't say that, but I'm trying. What?
So then I'll stop you there, right? So therefore, the Christian Trinity, as Christians understand the Trinity, is not explicitly, directly mentioned in the Quran. But there are other forms of, I wouldn't call them trinities, rather triads, that is inside of the Quran. Would you say that's right? Correct?
It does talk about the Christian Trinity. I told you it implies it. When you say do not say three, you're talking about where the Christians say the Trinity. What does the word triune mean? Three. And when the Quran says do not say thalatha.
There's a difference between three, okay, in our language, English, and a difference between the Trinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is Trinity and there's three. There is also Thalatha, okay, which is inside of the Quran, which is three, right, rather than Trinity. So the Quran doesn't speak directly to the Christian Trinity. And if Muslims are understanding these verses is talking about the Trinity, and we see them from Christian lens, it's clearly not talking about the same thing that Christians, Orthodox Christians nowadays actually believe.
Exactly, Kalam, which is why it doesn't say the Holy Ghost in there. It's just talking about, Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's just it's giving another perspective of rectifying the Islamic concept of messengers and not deifying anybody but Allah. So we've heard this before. So it's been dissected before.
Yeah.
So we can move away from the Trinity. I'm really anxious to find out what anyone's thoughts are about that verse that Kalam brought forward regarding who Allah is referring to when he's talking about prayer.
Dun, dun, dun.
Someone's got to work. I'm sorry. I just want to get to the meat of this whole discussion. See what you started?
All right. Just for you, Hawaya.
Thank you.
Any Muslims would like to come on and give their rendition or interpretation of what it means? Anybody at all?
Anybody also comfortable to take either evidence of or just explore what Allah could be referring to, because I feel like people are not going to be outright, admitting that they could be confused or unsure of what that verse refers to. So let's try to apply different types of examples or narrative and just putting into that context of the verse, breaking it down. Yeah,
I'm gonna keep quiet for a while and see if anybody has it. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, Kalam. They could be, so let's try using the two model of Allah possibly praying to himself and Allah praying to Muhammad. if we take I would say the safer route for Muslims who are adhering to the Sunnah and the Quran and not trying to attach up partners with Allah and to avoid shirk, let's say he was praying to himself. What would be the flaw in that?
There will be absolutely no flaw from a plural perspective of Allah. But if it's a Unitarian perspective of Allah, there is a problem. Because as the Christians are saying, okay, they have no problem with, Jesus praying to the Father, or, the Holy Spirit, receiving counseling from, the Father, or from, the Word, or Jesus. There's no problem, because there is, different individuals or different personas or characteristics within inside of the Trinity that can conversate or interrelate with one another. But if there is only one person within the being, right, there is no one else within inside of the being to interrelate or to contact or to supplicate to.
Yes.
So therefore, you're showing that there is a diversity within inside of the Godhead. From an Islamic perspective.
And it seems very complex. So maybe this is another example of how, a lot of Muslims would be very rigid in trying to stick within a paradigm of, okay, Allah is only one and we should worship him alone. And we cannot attach partners to him, and that would be shirk, and that's a no-no. But if we look at this verse and maybe apply this particular narrative of Allah praying to himself, we have to ask, why would Allah be praying to himself in the first place when he's a creator? Like it's almost like ego boosting. And I don't want to, I'm not saying this to mock my beautiful faith here. I'm not saying this to also take digs at a little bit of this verse that we're trying to analyze. But what would be the harm if somebody is praying to himself, especially someone of that high esteem? And I guess, okay, a being that is supposed to supposed to be revered. So if you're revering yourself in that sense, what could be the harm in that? And what does that tell us?
Maybe it's not really the harm, but isn't it a little arrogant if a God would do that? And wouldn't we expect a God to be humble instead of arrogant? So I think that is one of the reasons why it's weird,
Yeah. It's a little incongruent with a lot of the ideas behind Allah's role in guiding his subjects and being revered. So it just kind of makes me say, what would that be? We have also other verses in the Quran that talks about Allah swearing an oath onto attributes of nature, or nature, like the mountains, the sun. So a lot of people a lot of the scholars who talked about those verses say Allah just swore upon those because they're of great, that's the greatest creations he's made. So the shams, the sun, and the stars, and so these are the things that I'm trying to figure out why. What's the concept behind this type of verse that is almost alluding to that Allah was praying to himself?
For me, it sounds that it makes Islam sound human-made, to be honest, and illogically.
And if that's the case,
but that's me,
you gotta be open about that possibility, because things change over time. A lot of the traditions were passed down, and there's when someone is following a book, there could be a lot of contamination or errors that could be passed down on to that book, right? Because it's been the transcripts can go on forever, and people can just kind of rebrand a book and make a new edition. So but I feel like maybe if people started, I hate to advise people, because this is I'm not here to do that, and people can wish to believe whatever they want to believe, but this is sort of the problem I have as a Muslim is we're put in a paradigm and we stick within that paradigm. And I do like the Sufi concepts. I do like also attributing a lot of our culture and history, which has been, as a Black person, has been stripped away from us, right? So we're trying to, if somebody's trying to get into a spiritual zone and understand their faith, right, that has been given down to them, because I would say I was born Muslim, and culturally I am still a Muslim. So when I want to go back to the root, or to even verify a claim like this book has been preserved, and Allah makes that claim, and Allah puts that authority on us to investigate, I want to be doing due diligence in understanding that. So it'd be helpful if I can, if we got to be comfortable, within ourselves, and just be humbled by, saying we don't know, we can't go back in time, and none of us were there, so we cannot witness what's mentioned in the Quran and saying this is what took place, and these are the prophets, and these are their names, and this is the miraculous things they've done. And I'll give the book the benefit of the doubt, and I want to know if it's really is indeed a perfect book,
So are you saying Allah is praying to himself in this verse, or are you saying Allah is praying to Prophet Muhammad? What's your stance on it?
When I look at it, because we can rule out the word, so prayer is salat. We have to rule out blessings, right? Yeah. So I would say it sounds more in line with the answer that Allah is praying to himself. But I feel like I will take that then, because and you have to use a different maybe lens and say, okay, if Allah is saying that, maybe he's humbling himself. I don't know. Maybe he's, saying I did a really good job.
But you know what the difference
I
is?
deserve credit. I don't know.
But yeah, I respect your humbleness, but you see it from a perspective where you presuppose that this is really from God and everything is true in it. I see it from, it could be true, but when I see verses like this, it doesn't make sense to me. And the things you explain and when Muslims explain, for me, they sound like excuses. Like deep down, maybe it doesn't make sense, but like you just said, you give the book the benefit of the doubt. And I feel as if you have to do that because you're a Muslim. And if you would,
it can cause a little bit of bias, a little hidden bias behind every response I probably give. But that's why, let's say with those who want to say they're very religious, right? We need to be honest with ourselves and say, let's assume that nobody's right. Let's assume that there is an error actually in the evidence provided. Like there's whatever you hold as a belief. Let's assume that there's probably inconsistency and contradictions within what you were indoctrinated to believe is the most truth. Okay, so if you go from that premise, I feel like we can probably do better in investigating and just really exploring what it is that we were taught to believe. So that's why I would like to understand, with especially the Quran, because I really disregard hadith in its entirety because of so much of the errors. It's already we can find sahih hadith, supposed sahih hadith, but are in that collection that go against the Quran. So and Allah says in the Quran that this kitab is the best hadith, or should not be taken along with other secondary scriptures, right?
You're a Quranian then, basically.
No, I don't want to. Let's not go into that. Well, let's talk about the verse about who Allah is praying to.
Okay, let's pull it up. It says
we're not going to go in that direction.
Sister, I disagree with you there, because either he's praying to Prophet Muhammad or he's giving blessings. So you can't just say Allah's praying to himself. But that's a total different. You can't. That's a wrong interpretation.
Let me stop you there, right? Because I need to mute everybody out, because I got to shout out my queen right about now, So yeah, shouts out to Miss KK. Yeah, Miss KKK is up in the. Oh no, that was a bit too many Ks. Miss KK is up in the building. Yeah, buddy. On that. All right. You know what? Let me do this here before I actually keep it moving, right? I need you guys to show some love, right? Can you guys show some love right about now and hit up the like button? Show us some love. And I see you, Tippy Bear. I see you. You drop in some links and stuff for me to go and research. I see it. Salute to you guys. If you guys want our attention, okay, or want to ask anybody on the panel a question or anything like that, all you simply have to do is type Titans TV. Okay, simply type Titans TV, and then I'll be able to read it out because it's going to show up. Or you can simply hit us up with a super duper chat, and that gives me more of an incentive in the sense that it will flash up on the screen, and I'll have to read it out for you guys as well. All right, so. You know what? Let me actually do this because it's kind of easy this way, right? And it gives it a nice context. So over here is on, again, this is on David Wood's channel. He goes through this, right? And he gives some references to show like why he is correct. I'm not too sure if this is a Qudsi hadith. I'm sure he related it as a Qudsi hadith. But, I might even get my Muslim or anybody here who can speak Arabic to kind of read out the Arabic, right? We can read it, but you guys got a nicer sounding voice. It says here, the Israelites said to Moses, for those of you guys who don't know, does your Lord pray? Musa said, fear Allah, O sons of Israel. Allah said, O Musa, what did your people say? Musa said, O my Lord, you already know. They said, does your Lord pray? Allah said, tell them my prayer for my servant is that my mercy should precede my anger. If it were not so, I would have destroyed them. So, let's see if we can get some of you guys to interpret this particular passage. Who is up and ready to give their interpretation of this passage and let us know what it means? Anybody?
I'll let the people who speak Arabic dissect that, which brings me to another problem that I have, if I'm going to be honest, about some of the information that we're dealing with. Everybody has to know Arabic and study Arabic to wholeheartedly, maintain their faith in Islam, I guess. Because you can't interpret it for yourself, apparently. I don't know. Okay. I'd interpret that using English. So I'll let
interpret it using English. That's the best way. Like we're all
I agree. Well, I want to.
So go ahead. It's really the last bit, okay? So Allah said, tell them my prayer for my servants is that my mercy should precede my anger.
This could be taken very positive if you want to be a Muslim that is spiritual and not focusing on what's been passed down as Allah's role, that he cannot pray to himself or something. Like this is, I don't find this difficult to accept if I'm going to be taken in as a valid source, and it seems even positive. Fine, Allah does pray to himself. Allah does pray for to his servants, which is the prophets, Musa and the previous ones, and then it's saying that Allah is more merciful and that, he's it's okay. It's not like there's no problem for me on accepting this type of idea about Allah's mercy.
Mm-hmm.
However, it kind of ends with another note. If it were not so, I would have destroyed them. Those who don't worship Allah or believe in Allah, the people, the Beni Israel, or it's just a little.
Yeah. How can God? How can the Creator pray to its creation? It doesn't make sense.
No, not to its creation. He's praying
to his servants.
No, he's not praying to. He's praying for them.
For them. Okay, yeah.
But he's praying, so he must be asking someone or something to do something, right?
Yeah.
And over here it tells you who technically he's praying to.
Mm-hmm. And does Allah need to do that if that's the case? So another entity that where would the need be? Is it necessary? Is another question that I have.
And I'll tell
He's
you,
actually necessary. It says, yeah. Let's read it. Go. It
this,
says هل يصلي رب قال فأصلي على عبادي أن تصبح رحمتي. So basically he's saying, yeah, when Allah is speaking to Ben Israel, he's saying my prayer. So basically he's saying the gist of this hadith I would when I'm interpreting it, says, yeah, my prayer, without my prayer, you lot, I would have destroyed you lot, because if I don't shower my mercy upon you lot, basically he's trying to say substitute he's basically telling Ben Israel, if I'm praying, I want to say the prayer in this term, it's basically saying, in other words, I'm giving my rahmah to you, I'm giving my mercy upon you all, and without my mercy, you would have been destroyed. So, and he says basically rahmah, let me read that again. رحمتي عدتي لو ذلك أهلكتموه. So basically saying, if my mercy didn't precede my anger, I would have destroyed you all. Basically saying, that's what I would interpret this verse. A prayer in terms of mercy, in terms of giving mercy to the mankind, and without that mercy, preceding the anger, you would have been destroyed.
okay.
Yes. Okay, brother. But who is he praying to? Who is Allah praying to? I hate to use the pronoun he anyway, but I'll go with, from many of my Muslim families that have, the way they speak about Allah in that sense. But anyway, who would Allah be praying to?
You got that wrong again. It doesn't say pray to. It says فأخبرهم إن for. فأخبرهم إن صلاتي. So basically saying, tell them my prayer for my servants. So first of all, you got that wrong. It doesn't mean to.
Allah praise.
To, not to. For.
Yep.
For.
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
For.
Yep. So Allah prays for His servants.
So
meaning
would
his subjects, or those who believe, the Muslim Ummah, and his servants, the prophets that He sent down. Fine.
So what are you trying to insinuate from this verse? Allah is praying for His servants.
No insinuation. No. Tell them my prayer for my servants is that my mercy should precede my anger. I don't have any problem with this verse or hadith.
Let Kalam try. Tell him what are you trying to insinuate from this hadith? Are you trying to say Allah is praying for His servants?
Okay, yeah, it's clearly Allah is praying for His servants. But the key thing that you have to get into your head, right, is Allah is praying.
Yeah.
Allah is supplicating. Allah is asking something of someone, right? That is what Allah is doing at this present moment in time. We already crossed out His servants, because He's not praying or supplicating to His servants. He's supplicating for the benefit of His servants. But in order to supplicate, you must be supplicating to somebody else. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, and isn't Allah all sufficient, and He wills it His way? So.
And the easy answer is this. Let me just give you the answer anyway, just to speed things up.
Fine, thank you. Can stop being so greedy next time. Just answer, give us the scoop.
God damn.
Sorry for my eagerness. You like to keep the suspense going.
All right. So the person that he's praying to is His Rahmah. Okay? His mercy. He's actually praying to His mercy. And you're going to be like, what are you talking about, Kalam? Okay. Well, quite clearly, there is something called a contradistinction within side of these three seemingly, how can I put it? Persons or attributes or elements of Allah. Okay. We see you have Allah here. We see that you have His mercy here. We see that He has His wrath or His anger here. All three of those things are intrinsic to the being known as Allah. But they're all distinct and, how can I put it, contrasting towards Him. So Allah, in this instant right now, is making a distinction between His mercy and Himself as the title Allah. If that makes any sense, right? Because He now has to pray that His mercy should precede His anger. So we can see that the mercy and His anger are in contradistinction to one another. Right?
After you said that, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. They're not the same thing. They're contrary.
It doesn't make sense, bro. How can His attributes be different to Him?
No, it's not His attributes. It's His persons is different. That's what's going on here. So you got one thing. Go ahead.
Bro, it sounds like Christianity, Trinity kind of thing, bro.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and it's actually
definitely not. Definitely
human.
not.
That is
Definitely.
exactly what it's
Powerful.
talking about.
Kalam, you can't do that one. Definitely
What
not.
people don't understand, right? This verse here, right? Although it's here, it's actually coming from Jewish scriptures, right? You can find the same verses, yeah. If you go into the Berachat, okay, you go into the Sephorno of Genesis, okay, you go into all of these rabbinical texts, right? It's got it right there. The Legends of the Jews, etc. It's got it right there. They have the same thing, right? It says here that let's say, so may your mercy hold back your anger from us. Let your compassion prevail over. All right, justice, divine quality of justice to prevail entirely. He associated mercy with it. So forth. Okay, so he goes on and carries on talking. Right, what people don't understand from a Judeo-Christianic point of view, right? The mercy, okay, is talking about who? The mercy is talking about
Allah.
No. Well, it is Allah. I'm not going to deny it's not Allah.
It's one of its attributes, they say. Yeah.
From what we know, it's one of the personages known as the Holy Spirit. Okay, the Holy Spirit is that which represents. It holds those types of attributes. Okay, as the attribute of mercy. The one that represents here anger or revenge, or how can I put it, or justice itself. That is talking about the logos, okay, or the word, okay. That is what it's talking about in this particular thing here. Now, because we know the scriptures a little bit good, right? We know that this principle represented by the logos. Let's see if we can do this. Sugar. Exodus. I believe it's Exodus 23. Okay.
This makes kind of sense. So sorry, as you're searching for that, but a lot of the hadith actually come from the Judeo-Christian traditions. More of the hadith actually comes from the Jewish traditions. So we can understand that perspective. But I really don't want to interrupt. But is the word anger in that hadith, by the way, what was the Arabic word that they used? Because I'm trying to figure out if one of if Allah's 99 attributes is one of them, like the wrathful, or I don't know. I don't know.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
So Allah has Allah's wrath.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like a lot of confusion to me. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, and
I mean, if you break it down, if you break it down on the human level, like if you put the words on us, like on humans have mercy, right? We have anger as well. Mm-hmm. We don't separate them and say that I pray to my mercy, then my anger doesn't get you. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like right. I'm in control of my anger. I'm in control of my mercy. Like how can you separate these things from you? Like how can you give them like a separate identity?
And how isn't Allah a separate creation or separate from His creation? So Allah doesn't need to have those type of emotions, in my opinion, because if you do, then you're not a god. Of the way the Muslim concept of Allah, the way it's been constructed, this goes against that, or in Orthodox or modern Muslim views about what and who Allah is. So for me, it gives me a little bit of that. This is mainly this hadith, and also the verse that we went through. It's just more that people are constructing who Allah is, and I don't know, just makes it.
I mean, when Kalam was breaking it down, it almost sounded like he was saying that the mercy is like an independent entity, and he's praying to his mercy. Like that's what it sounded like to me.
It's a separate person. It's a separate person, but not a different being. Separate person, but not not a different being. One being, one essence, but just a different person within inside of the being known as Allah.
What do you mean different person? Are you talking about his attributes, or are you talking about different person totally?
We're talking about his intrinsic characteristics or his intrinsic nature.
I wouldn't say that's different. I would say that's within him.
You have attributes, right, which are properties of things added on to Allah. Meaning, these attributes are things that will actually perish. What do I mean by that? Okay, So you got an attribute of Allah being the most forgiving. In order for him to forgive, there must be someone to forgive. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
If there is nobody for Allah to forgive, does his attribute of the forgiver exist again?
Yeah, it still exists.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Because
Yeah,
he
it
has not, because there's something called, actualize and potential. So he has the potential to be a forgiver, but he can never actualize his attribute of forgiveness if he does not have somebody to actually forgive.
I would say that. I would say.
Does
So
that make sense?
you're saying if there's no person to forgive or no person to have mercy upon, that attribute totally doesn't exist anymore until there's some person to have mercy upon or forgive. But I would say it's actually there. It's part of his attributes. But when there's a person to forgive, then he actualizes it. And when there's not a person to forgive, it's still within him, but he chooses not to actualize it. Do you see what I mean? You don't have to have a person there just to act upon it. That's what I'm saying. It's part of his attributes. It's within him. But when he actualizes, it's not like the what's it called? We don't believe in these persons you're talking about. I totally disagree with you, but I didn't want to cut in. But the persons you're talking about, you're trying to make it sound distinct.
Let me give you another example to make it easy for you, okay? So you've got an attribute of Allah called Malik, the owner, right?
Yeah, King get owner, yeah.
Maliki Yawmiddin, okay? So he's the owner. In order for him to be the owner of something, there must be something for him to own.
Right. Property.
Exactly.
Subjects.
So if he has not yet created, things to own, he cannot be the owner. He has the potential to be the owner, but he cannot actually be an owner if there is nothing in his possession. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So when you're saying Maliki Yawmiddin, you're saying the owner of the Day of Judgment. So when that event occurs, that's when he becomes the owner.
No, it could be also his kingdom, the universe, and his throne and his subjects, and the believers. It could
so he can own whatever he likes, but if there is nothing in creation, and there is not even creation itself, he cannot be actually be called the owner. He simply has that within inside of his potential. And that's why attributes are what we call properties, things that are added onto him to describe him, but not him in his that, meaning his essence. Allah is not his attributes, okay? That's not his essence. We have to now break it further down. Fortunately, the Christians broke it down into three distinct characteristics or three distinct qualities, right? Muslims at present, how they speak about it, don't actually break down and say, okay, the knowledge belongs to the logos. They just say the knowledge belongs to Allah. But Christians have broken it down into its individual parts to know exactly where all of these different distinct attributes relate to in terms of its character or its persona. But so let me go in a little bit further than that, right? So yeah, like for those of us who know the Judeo-Christian theology, you understand when he's talking about his mercy, the mercy is always related to the Holy Spirit as one persona. The other persona is the Logos, which represents the justice element of him. In Jewish scriptures, you talk about the left hand and the right hand. And that's to do with, if you know about Kabbalah, actually, let me stop talking, man. I'm going a bit too deep.
Yeah,
let me stop talking. I don't want to even confuse people too much. I'm realizing I might just be confusing people. Let me stop.
Yeah.
No, I get the gist. I'm so sorry if I'm. This is the last thing I want to say, and I'll let you guys go. But I just want to say, if we are gonna be spiritual beings, and if as a Muslim, I wouldn't mind taking that perspective of seeing Allah in his different attributes and making that connection with myself, and that's like that connection is going to be strengthened to understanding the many aspects and characteristics about Allah. So the way Christians and the various ways that they've constructed their understanding of Jesus, and through either the Unitarian or the Trinitarian understanding, that's all in good. I feel like Muslims, especially, oh my goodness, Orthodox not Orthodox, that's the wrong word. Okay, so there's a couple of different sects, but the ones that really try to keep Allah separate from his creation are not really tapping into their spiritual connection with their creator, and that could be very subjective, and I understand that. So I'm not gonna put my preferences onto the Muslims that believe that particular paradigm that Allah has is separate from his creation, and we no longer then can understand him in his many layers and wisdom and characteristics and attributes. Those particular attributes of Allah, the 99 attributes, are actually within us as well as humans. So I don't see anything wrong, is what I'm saying, with taking the perspective that Allah has different types of attributes, but still is of one essence. And I just wanted to say that.
Definitely. I want to see if I can play some games right now, real quickly, with some of my Muslim brothers and sisters. So, quick question, right? What was the first thing that Allah created? Who knows? M-Stacks.
The heavens and the earth.
All right. Before he created the heavens and earth, what was he doing?
Sitting on his throne.
Okay. So we realize that there is Allah, and then there is also a throne. There's two things in existence, right? One, being Allah, supposedly, and then something with Allah, being his throne. Would we say that's correct?
Okay, yep.
Yep. And then there is also a third thing, okay? The third thing, supposedly, that he generated, and then everything came out after that. Do you know what the third thing was?
Was it the stars?
Nope.
Okay.
Before creation. Before creation.
Before creation.
Okay. So
the Kalam, the pen.
The pen. There you go.
Oh, the Kalam, yes.
Yeah. So he generated the pen, and he spoke to the pen, and the pen spoke back to him.
Yes, it did.
And this was before creation, right? So we're now talking about...
Hey, it's allegorical sometimes. Okay, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Exactly. So now in eternality, right? You have three eternal things before creation. You have the Kalam, the pen. You have the Arush, the throne. And then you have, we will say the nafs of Allah hovering over his throne, which would be reminiscent of the Holy Spirit. But let me not even go there. So you got Allah over his throne. Three things that's there prior to actual creation.
Creation of humans, yes.
But not
so when he is speaking to certain things, right? And he's using his pen, his Kalam, to write on his nafs, right? That my mercy will proceed over my judgment. Because the judgment is represented by the Kalam, by that which is written down. Like, this is your qadr.
And I can dig that. That's fine for me anyway.
Right?
Yep.
But he's saying my nafs, my actual spirit, right, will actually, or my mercy, right, would actually overcome that. And then the throne itself represents authority. It represents power.
Yes.
It represents the will. These are all the three component parts of the Trinity. Muslims don't even realize there is actually a Trinity within inside of their scriptures, but some reason they don't acknowledge it. We have the throne, which represents power, authority, and the will, which in Christian theology is the same thing, as well as called the Father. Then you have something that is generated called the pen, right? The Christians call it the word, okay, or the logos, all right? And that's representative of rationality, the mind, the speech, causing things into existence. That's exactly what the pen does. Then you have the third thing, which is Allah's nafs, which is the feminine aspect that holds on all of the attributes of Allah, i.e. his mercy and so forth. All the three things of the Trinity is actually present within inside of Islamic school of thought prior to...
So,
hold on, let me finish. Prior to creation in eternality, and they have a communication amongst themselves. And when when you're reading these verses now of the hadiths, where it talks about, Allah is supplicating, realize that he's speaking to certain people, just the same way he spoke to his pen, he's able to speak to his mercy. That's it. That's all.
Would you say it's eternal or is created?
Anyway, it's quite
eternal.
1 second, let me just get Hawaya and then I'll come back.
Yes, thank you. And that's it. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to give one point here. This tells me that if you study theology, there was a point in time where all the Judeo-Christians, Islam, Judaism and Christianity were considered monotheism, right? Monotheist. So there's a lot of Muslims in our modern day now, scholars, be it instructors, that would say or trying to discredit Christianity by saying they're polytheists. And so I can understand that this is why they were looped in the same umbrella. So it tells me that this is all from the same source and just interpreted differently now through time and, for whatever reason. So I don't have any problems with the way Kalam actually broke down Allah in those different attributes that are actually very similar to the Christian concepts of their God and the Trinity. So that's all I want to say.
Kalam, are you saying that the pen was always there, or was it created?
It was in eternity. Okay.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. If you pull up the hadith again, it says it was created in it.
Yeah. It says it was created. All right. It said it was created, but it was created before creation, correct?
Yes, and Allah's word is eternal. For a lot of Muslims would say that, agree with that. I don't think that was said.
It was created. Sorry, sir. It was created before creation. But which creation? Are we talking about the universe?
So when it says khalaq, or created, right? This is the same problem that the Christians were having. And the reason why they were having the same problems, right, which is called like Arianism, they talk about the word was being begotten, right? Begotten in eternality, meaning it's something that came into existence, but existed in eternality. The same way the pen was khalaq, which was brought in, or we won't say begotten because we don't want to, intimate that. We're speaking figuratively when we say created anyway, because there's nothing to create from, but created from himself. So pen was begotten or created or emanated from the one being in eternality, and by it everything else was created or brought into extra existence. Does that make sense?
That doesn't make sense. You're saying the pen was created before the creation, but it's not eternal. But it's not eternal.
No. The pen is eternal.
What sense?
Is because it was begotten in eternity.
No, the creator created the pen, Kalam. Am I right?
Yeah, it's just the same way. Yeah, when Christians use the term begotten, right? I know this is going to get real technical now. Yeah, when Christians use the term begotten, okay, it means to give birth basically to, but it's the language which is speech that's been utilized in figurative terms. Why am I saying that? Because these things existed in eternity. All right. And by these things, actual creation, meaning the heavens and the earth, was created by these things. Does that make sense? So they were eternal beings. They are eternal, or not eternal, they are eternal things, for lack of a better word.
So if these things are eternal, wouldn't the things that they create themselves be eternal as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, because it came from the same source. Who
we
created that?
Yeah, you're saying that this creation, the pen is eternal, but you're not saying that the things that were created by the pen are not eternal.
Yes,
they're all eternal. It seems like.
So you're eternal as well.
Okay, so there is some yes in there and there is some no in there, right? And let me just explain to you what that means. When we're talking about eternalities, it's things that does not change, does not how can I put it, diminish, does not die, does not change, diminish, die, and something else. I can't remember the actual technology. I think you have to mute your mics, right? Okay. Yeah. So we know, for example, the Earth, okay, does change. Okay, it does diminish and it does die, but it always is going to be in existence in some shape or form, but not known as the Earth. All right. So let me make a bit more sense. So the Earth can be destroyed, like the physical Earth can be destroyed, just like your body can be destroyed, right? But it always returns back to Allah. Does that make sense?
Yes. You have a better way of explaining it. I was just gonna say that using both the earth and or things in nature and human beings. And let's not forget, Allah does say for there's a verse, help me out guys, but there's Allah will we will soon return back to him. Like it is so this brings me to the perspective of the life cycle that we're living in, the human and the biological makeup that we have, and the way the nature the things, the way they manifest into the way they are, and then going back in a cycle of life, I don't know, and renewal. And
So I don't want to get technical, but what Kalam basically trying to say is, the Arsh, the throne, was created, the Kalam was created, but yet they're both...
Nope. I didn't say that the Arsh was created.
But you say in the Hadith they were created, yes?
Nope. The Arsh was somehow there, and then Allah rose over it.
So the Arsh was eternal, basically, you're saying, and then Allah rose over it. So... But the Kalam, the pen, which the Christian called the word of God, Jesus, that was not created. That was created by Allah. That's why I have the problem with the word begotten. When you say it's produced, you're defying the fact that basically you're saying it's not eternal. It was created. At what point of time was it created? So it was not there before Allah. Was it there after Allah? When was it created? The Kalam.
The Kalam, okay. It was produced, okay, during eternity.
I
don't get that.
I know.
I know. It was with Allah. It was with Allah, and he taught them what they do not know. It's a narration of Allah's will coming into being, and from His will, it was from a thought that He had. So he's putting things in motion. If you're going to read it in that understanding, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? It is very technical. You have to. I want to say it's not an easy concept to understand if this is the first thing that's being brought towards. Right? If you understand philosophy, you kind of get a hold of it, and that's why Christians were having some heavy debates over this concept. Even Muslims themselves, right, arguing whether the speech of Allah or the Kalam of Allah, the Kalam Kalam, of Allah, is eternal, uncreated, or a created thing. Like, this is something that was heavily debated because they themselves couldn't grasp their head around it. You dig what I'm saying? Because why they don't get it is, the speech of Allah, okay, is with Allah in the beginning, right? The speech of Allah is with Allah in the beginning, right? But it proceeded from Allah, meaning it came like Allah and then it proceeded from Allah. So should I say proceed from Allah? So they were saying, therefore, it must be created. Then the others was arguing, the Mutasilites was arguing it must be created. But then the majority of Islam or Sunni Muslims say it's uncreated and it's eternal. So it's one of those ones here. You have to kind of get into philosophy and understand the language that's being employed on this.
I agree with you.
So Kalam, if it's the speech of God, right?
So, hey, your big Zoots, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, when it's time for you to speak, or mute your mic. But right now, it's on a crazy one. So I'm going to let my brother Kalalund speak, and then afterward, I'll get you to unmute your mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Like, if it's the speech, how can we separate the speech from the creator and give it a separate identity? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why would it be separate from him?
So it's not separate from him. It's just distinct from him.
It's distinct from him.
You know what Muslims I feel like are doing here? They're applying the rigid paradigm that they've been given. I'm gonna be honest, especially with the Sunni, Salafi, Wahhabi sect perspective of applying a law, and they're trying to make sense of it, right? So I think Kalam's right. There's a lot of philosophical.
We stick what the Quran says, isn't it? We don't fluctuate.
Of course.
It seems like Kalam's trying to turn this into Christianity Trinity. Like, he's trying to separate this Kalam into like the word of God, like Jesus, like the Christians do.
No, it's just common sense. We just need to listen with what we were just even examining, which was the Quran. We even had a little bit of Hadith. but also
Sister,
we
I
are part
think
of the Judeo-Christian perspective. Let's just
sister,
be
it's
honest.
like
Then
The
why
way you
stop
see
at like
Islam,
3? Why not make it into 99?
what it is?
Why just stop at 3?
Listen,
That's the question.
If God created the world, yeah, and says He created with the words "kun vayakun," be and it was there, and then He calls Isa the word of Allah, yeah, then this ain't rocket science, fam.
exactly.
Saying
Let's take
Isa
it for
created
what
the
it
world.
is.
But then why stop at just the
Thank
3?
you,
Why not
Ezra.
go on to like 99 and separate everything
No,
and then have 99
there's a
gods?
problem. There's a
I never heard
barrier
that.
in the mind of a lot of Muslims that say some things have to be separate. Allah has to be separate from His creation. Allah has to be separate from His creation, and these attributes are only exclusive to Allah. When you go in that mindset, it just creates a further compounding of comprehension, because we're trying to understand. And I feel like there's a little bit of a immediate defense for defending something that we really don't know, but we're trying to get there and understand. So far,
sister, basically
go ahead.
we're defending the Quran. Basically, I think you're trying to fluctuate. You're trying to put your own interpretation onto the Quran.
Hey,
And
Allah tells us that we need to use our intellect and figure out which verses, because there are going to be verses that are vague. There are going to be verses that are allegorical, literal. We need to use the verses we need to use our intellect in assessing those verses based on the context and applying the best meaning to them. So this is what Allah instructs me to do as a Muslim. So I don't think you are right or wrong. You're free to discuss it. Ezra is right on one point. When Allah says something, what you're doing is you're taking interpretation either from a scholarly ulama, whatever you call it. That's why, brother, I really want you to understand we are all on the same path. We're using the same context of not the same context, the same sources. So it is okay for one to interpret the way they want it, unless you disagree, unless you give more authority to a human being that's fallible, like the scholars that you're probably following, and then you're going to be committing a lot of huge errors in terms of what Allah is trying to forbid you to keep on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. These are people that are probably going to deter you and derail you from figuring out the truth. So let's be mindful about that.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Okay.
Scholars.
You know, when you're speaking, right? You're speaking from a secular, a sectarian viewpoint, right? Which fits your understanding, your perspective.
No. I'm speaking from the interpretation from the Quran, the Sunnah, the Sahaba, and Tabi'een and Tabi'een. So the 3 generations after the Prophet and the Quran. That's all we stick to. We don't move on with Sheikh Albani, all these other people, scholars that came centuries after, 100 years after. So let's stick with it.
You're a very strict Salafi, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I stick with the Quran.
Basically.
That's it, and the Sunnah.
So therefore, you're not going to be open-minded to understand what we're saying here then about Allah's attributes and Allah's creation.
I am open-minded. I can take what you're saying, but I have to stick with what the Quran says, the Hadith, and the Sahaba. How they interpreted it. We cannot interpret the Quran. We are just followers of the Sahaba. How the Sahaba.
Why did Allah bring the Quran if we can't interpret it as a believer, as a Muslim?
Who's the best interpretation of the Quran? Prophet Muhammad, yes. Am I right?
Allah, the best interpretation?
Yeah, who's the best interpretation of the Quran? Who's it being given to?
Why not all the prophets? Why are you making exclusive?
Who's all the prophets? Jesus was not there at the time of Prophet Muhammad, so how can he interpret the Quran?
I don't get it. Can you repeat your question?
I said, who's the best interpretation of the Quran? Who interprets the Quran the best out of all creation?
His followers, every Muslim. Allah guides who He wills. Yes or no?
Yes, I know. I understand. Ask your question. Answer that question.
Who was the first person to receive the Quran? Who was the first person?
We get our best interpretation, in my opinion, from the traditions that have been passed down to our families. Okay, and if you want to call yourself somebody who wants to believe in the Sunnah, this is you're putting more emphasis on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in my opinion.
Sister, I think you're evading the question here. I asked you a simple question. You can say you're the best interpretation. I don't have a problem with you saying you're the best interpretation of the Quran.
There is no best interpretation. It's very subjective. So
that's where you're mistaken.
I have the best interpretation. I have the best.
That's where you that's where you're mistaken. That's where you're mistaken.
On my own faith.
And Mr. Stacks, don't you follow scholars?
No, we don't. Allah says, sister. I think that's where you're mistaken, and that's where your interpretation is absolutely.
I get that.
Vulnerable.
You're okay.
Let's finish.
And you're okay to feel that way, and
I don't feel that way.
That's okay.
Let me finish.
You don't hold accuracy. You don't hold
finish,
the best accuracy.
Let me finish. Follow the Quran. Follow the Quran. Yes.
Yes, you do. Yes.
What does Allah say in the Quran? Adi'u Allah wa adi'u Rasul. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is
don't evade
I used to go into debates in back in the day. This is bringing me back really frustrations that I've I don't know, but I'm not. We're not going to discuss that right now. Now you're trying.
Okay, you're evading the questions. Answer it.
I'm not even. No, there should be no debate, or I'm not evading anything. I'm trying to say I care not to even engage those type of discussions because it's madness. It's
not madness. Sister, you said you follow the Quran.
Religion to you. No. There's no compulsion in Islam, right? So you believe what you need to believe. You don't need to. Especially if you say you have the best interpretation because it came from Nabi Muhammad and you're following the first generation of the Sahaba way of tradition, right? And their understanding. Which, by the way, they're not even here anymore. So I don't know how you would be verifying and discussing with them what was that best interpretation of these verses. But anyway, you're going from a mindset of you hold what's right to you and it's the best, right? You don't need to prove it to me. I'm not even here. I'm not God. I'm not going to judge you right now.
I'm not asking you to prove me, sister. I think you're trying to evade the question. No. We have to get. Let me finish. We have to.
There was a verse that's very. I feel like you guys have a lot of people maybe just glossed over. It talks about Allah bringing things into Allah's prophets, were sent because they wanted to make them. Allah said, "You guys should be the middle nation," right? So that tells me you're supposed to be balanced. You're not gonna.
Sister, basically, let me speak now.
On either end. No,
I heard you.
I just want to give you my opinion. That's why
I heard you. But your opinion is invalid.
Of course, and that's fine. Hey,
let me just finish. I heard you speak. Let me just finish.
Okay, fine.
You can have your opinion, you can have your interpretation, but your opinion to the general Muslim is invalid. And I tell you why.
That's why a lot of scholars will call you the layman.
No,
of course.
Scholars, I don't care about the scholars. I don't care about the scholars. I don't care. I'm talking about.
I'm talking about your view.
Can I just finish? I heard you speak for long now.
I will.
Okay, let me speak now.
That's what I mean. People get so emotional. Like there's.
I'm not getting emotional. I'm trying to teach you the right.
You are. No, don't try to teach me. I'm not here. I don't want to be.
Can you stop talking over people? Can I just speak for 1 second without you interrupting? I'm talking about the best interpretation of the Bible at the time of Jesus. Jesus was the best interpretation of the Bible. So you go to Isa. Listen, let me finish. You go to Isa ibn Maryam. If you want to ask him anything, you go to Isa at the time of the Prophet. But I'm talking about the Quran here. And I told you in the Quran, it says, Adi'u Allah wa adi'u Rasul. Follow the way of the Prophet. And now you just rejected that. You just rejected that.
That makes complete sense.
I didn't reject anything so far. You're
evading the question.
But seriously, just be at your way, like do you, and just follow your.
I asked you a question and you never answered. What does that mean? You're scared to answer the question. I asked you a simple question.
Right.
Everyone can hear. Everyone can.
You are so right. I'm petrified.
You follow the Prophet. Who's the best?
I'm instructing the truth being shared, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not gonna answer.
This is why you need to do you. I actually agree with you. But
don't do me. I'm not saying do me. I'm not saying do a scholar. I'm saying do the Prophet. He's the best interpretation. Do you agree?
The Prophet and Allah himself, or
Prophet, Allah, and the Sahabas. She doesn't agree with that. I know she doesn't agree with that.
I didn't.
And the prophets before him.
And the Prophet before him, 100%.
I mean, it makes complete sense. If a writer writes a book or a novel, you would go to the writer to understand, right? You wouldn't go to a normal reader to see what the writer is trying to say, would you? The best interpreter would be the writer himself.
Bang on.
But that's what happens with
what Sister has pointed out.
interpretations of other people. Yet he thinks
not other people. What did I say to you, Rasulullah, the Prophet? That's it. And the Sahabas. They. Who has the revelation come to? Who has the revelation come to?
And do you do that by what? Following the hadith?
To all the prophets.
To all the prophets. Are you confused? Are you confused? I'm talking about the Quran.
The revelation, the Quran.
Yes.
The Quran is an extension of the Injil and Torah.
I like the way you evade the questions, one.
You want to go back? Like, this is what I mean. Like, you...
I said to you, the Torah came to Moses. Moses is the best interpretation of the Torah. The Injil came to Isa. Isa is the best interpretation of the Injil. Prophet Muhammad came before the Quran came to him. So he's the best interpretation of the Quran. So why are you denying this?
Brother. Sorry, Hawaii. I just wanted to say...
I'm done. Don't worry. Go ahead.
I just want to say to the brother, like, I don't think she's disagreeing with you about that. I think what she put across was, are you going directly to the Prophet Muhammad himself for the interpretation? Or are you going to hadith of scholars and others who have written or compiled books for you to have that? And if so, what makes you so confident that your own way of following the words written down by other men about the Prophet trumps her way of using reason to listen to all different types of information and come to a conclusion of what the Prophet meant?
Yes, that's a whole different question. So you're talking about. So you're talking about.
You elaborated better than that.
Yeah. So you should. So basically, now we got to the crux of the matter. You're saying the hadiths. What's it called? You don't take that.
I want you to deal with scattered minds, because you know why? My
brother. Scattered
I'm done. I
bang on. Scattered minds. Repeat again.
All right. So yeah. Sorry, sister. Big up to you.
Thanks for your honesty, though.
Away. And I've been listening all the way home from work, so I've been listening to everything that you've been saying. So big up to you, man, and big up to Kalam. I got my answer finally. I want to talk to Kalam when I get a chance, but to you most specifically, what the sister was trying to explain to you was that she uses reason as well as the Quran and evidence is brought forth to her, like hadith, etc. But she uses her own reason in understanding that. What you're saying is she shouldn't use her own reason. She should only follow it the exact way that the Prophet followed it. And I'm saying to you, how are you following it the way the Prophet followed it if all you have from the Prophet is hadith and writings of other men or scholars, as she pointed out to you at the very beginning of the conversation?
That takes us back 1400 years ago if you do the exact literal way of the Prophet. And
but they have a chain of hadith, which is Sahih and that.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand the chain of hadith. I'm asking most, like, what makes him so sure that his scholars within those chains of hadith are telling the exact truth, and so that he could attack or go at Hawaii and say to her that she is not following the Prophet's way and that he is.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't think you heard the whole conversation. So we were talking about.
He did.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
No, let's give credit where it's due.
No.
I don't conversation.
Basically,
what we're each saying, and I'll even just pass the baton to him if he wants to carry on the conversation where he's gonna give his views. I'm not here to debate and to engage in a discussion about what I believe and figure out who's right and who's wrong. I actually was just on here just to dissect the information about the verse, in particular about who Allah was praying to, and then we went into another area about the hadith. And so I really just want to end here, and Scatter Minds, like, big ups to you. Like, I really appreciate your channel and your thoughts. And that's it. And I wanted to say peace and love to the whole Titans family and the panelists, and that's it.
Peace.
So basically,
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Bye.
Take care.
So let me get this. Is your question like, how can you trust the hadith? Like, how do we know that it's 100?
No. I understand the hadith and the science of the hadith. Alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim, just so you guys know where I'm coming from. So I'm not arguing with you on that. My argument is on that you seem to be going at her way, basically, that she is not following it on the way that the Prophet is following it. But I'm trying to explain to you that she is following it down to her reason. Do you know what I mean? So she takes... One second, wait. She takes hadith, she takes the Quran, and she puts it through a filter of understanding it in her own mind of reason, similar to what I do, basically. But you're saying to us, basically, from what I understand, is that we should not do that, and that the only way to understand the Quran is through the Prophet Muhammad. And I'm saying to you, how are you sure that your way of understanding the Quran through the Prophet Muhammad, which, as I understand it, comes from a long list of transmitted hadiths, how are you so sure that it makes more sense than using your own reason to come to a term of what the Prophet would do?
So this is the fallacy here. People that come to their own reason and try to interpret the Quran the way they feel suits them, or the way they feel, feels the best to them. That's where the fallacy has come. That's what Christians and Jews have done to their book. They did their own interpretation, but we leave that to the top scholars who are most knowledgeable. So if I come today and I can pull up a verse and I can interpret it the way I like and say music is allowed and alcohol is not allowed in that time, but it's allowed in this time, I can interpret it the way I like. There's no constriction to any interpretation. So what I'm trying to say, let's follow people who were there at the time of the
People
who were there. Yeah,
But basically, you're saying let's shut down our brains and just blindly follow
Yeah, see, this
others.
is the problem. No. Do you know what it is, guys? Sorry for interject. Right?
Yeah,
Listen,
big up.
right? This is, in my opinion, Islam. Right? Is because the Quran is the perfect inerrant word of the Creator of the universe. Because it can't be changed or reformed, you're going to get people unwilling to budge, and they switch off their brains. So, who's it talking? Like M Stacks is saying, don't change it because everybody else has, and now their books are all crappy. But I'm saying, bro, listen, we don't live in the time of the Prophet. Things have moved on. Things have changed. I'm telling you. Take an iPhone back to when the Prophet was alive, they'll have you strung up for witchcraft. Things have moved on. No, and it's true, bro. Things have changed. Times have changed. So, but the problem is, because Muslims believe the Quran is the inerrant, unchanging word of their Creator, they're unwilling or unable to reform it to suit the times. And I think that for me is, I don't want to say dangerous, but it is troubling, right? Because when you've got I think it's Sufi Muslims who are more on like the spiritual stuff, like they clash with like your typical, what do you call, is it Orthodox Sunni, like for instance. But I'm saying, look, guys, chill out.
Man.
Yeah, so can
come back in?
Can we?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, just come back in, right? So, I'm pretty sure a lot has gone on. I was aware that there was a back and forth going on between Hawaya and M Stacks, but I can't see her right now. What's happened to her?
She left.
Okay. Did she? Because she wanted to leave, or did she leave because she was being frustrated?
I don't know.
She had said a piece basically. I think she felt a little bit was coming to an interrogation about her personal particular beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of took a step back and let me question most acts for her.
Okay. All right. So we've got Big Zoots, right? Big Zoots, do you have something to say?
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
I've just kind of clued into some of the things that some of the people are saying, but the fact that Allah can't enter into his own creation, or he doesn't interact with his own creation. There's nothing in creation like him. He's abstract, he's totally objective. How can you build a theology around that then? How can you, because at least with the Christian faith, you do have this.
Yep. I'm gonna okay. If you finished, I'm just gonna mute your mic out, right? So yeah, that's a very good question, and I think that is really might be geared towards mainly the Salafi brothers who have that opinion of Allah. I'm not going to say that all Muslims believe that, because I've been Speaker's Corner and I've met a lot of Muslims that don't have that ideology. When we've spoken to them, they realize, maybe that's not quite accurate. That's not what the Quran actually says. We see various times in the Quran where Allah is actually interacting and will be interacting with human beings. So I don't think that's 100% accurate.
So basically,
Kalam, can I say something? Can we go back to the point that we were discussing about the pen and the word of God being eternal? I mean, like, why stop at just those two things? Why not?
Let me stop you, right? I'm gonna get to that. Let me just make sure I have I've opened up the mic to some people that I haven't actually engaged with. So Scattered Minds. What are you saying, King?
Bro, I'm here. Just got back from work. I was riding home trying to get there. I'm all good. I just wanted to say, if anyone was watching the comments earlier, I think a couple of my answers were slightly right. Was slightly right to your question. I think I need to give myself a pat on the back for that, because I think I got that a little bit right. And it's interesting for me because I don't necessarily like Hawaii. Don't necessarily have a massive contradiction with the 99 attributes or persons, as you put. I wouldn't necessarily use the term persons myself, but I understand completely. And like I said in the chat, it was Allah paying that His mercy would outweigh that of His anger for His creation and so on. And so, yeah, I have no issue with that concept. I think quite a few other people will have that issue because they have a quite rigid mind or contract of belief of what religion has to be, because they're following pretty much dogma, I think, and scripture and the words of other people. And not really, for me, I just do it like this, especially this is what I'd say with regarding to Hawaii as well. You can't call yourself a Muslim if you're just going to follow a scholar and in your own reason and your own logic and your own mind, it doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? It says there's no compulsion in Islam, so you can't force yourself. Zoo got muted by Big Zoo, shout out Big Zoo, yeah. But yeah, you can't. Yeah, I can't remember where I was now, car. Man, muted.
Yeah, you can't force yourself to believe in something that you don't agree with.
Exactly, there it is. So you have to use your own reason. I think Islam tells us to use that reason. So I don't think it's for anyone else to come and tell someone not to use that reason, because one of the names, Maliki Human Deed, sovereign on the day of judgment, judge on the day of judgment. Allah is the final judge. It's not for anyone here to try and tell you what to believe. He's going to judge all of us on what our own hearts told us. A man could stand here all they want and say they believe this, they believe this, they believe this, but no one can look into your heart to see if you truly do believe that, or you're just saying that because it makes you look good amongst your brethren.
And all religion is based on interpretation. I mean, look how many schools of thought you have about Islam and denominations. It's, I mean, it's so obvious. You need to think for yourself.
That's right. All right. So let me quickly go now to my brother smoking something that's heavy right now. Kalulan.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
No, man, that was an interesting topic. I mean, I was just wondering, like the whole the Kalam, being the word of God and it being eternal, and I mean, why just stop at those two things? Why not break down everything and make it like into 99 gods, like the Christians have? So why not make it 99 then? Like the mercy is separate, it's a God, and it's the powerful, the almightiness is a God as well. Like, why just stop at 3 then?
Okay, so that's a very good question, right? I think I've half answered it earlier on, meaning these are essential attributes or the essential characteristics or the essential nature of God. And that's the reason why. They're what's considered to be properties or attributes, okay? Things that are not essential to the Godhead or to God. It's something that He has acquired by manifesting His might or power or majesty or whatever beautiful terminology you can possibly use, right? So then we have to break down what are the essentialness, right? And some Muslim scholars have done that. They've gone into something, I don't know if you've heard of the terminology called the that, which is like the self or the essence of what God is. And then they now construct out of the essence what is essential to God. They will start saying, you know, His power, His will, His, you know, His wisdom, His this. All of these things are essential attributes or things that you cannot remove from God. So once you start doing that, right, and you start removing the stuff that can be removed, and you remain and you leave the stuff that can remain, you know, sooner or later you will understand that a lot of those essential attributes or supposed essential attributes are actually, you know, fit into a particular category, right? And once you fit them into those particular category, you'll understand that it only breaks down into 3 individual categories. That's going to sound mad weird and wild right now, right? But you have Jewish or Hebrew scholars, Christian scholars, and even Islamic scholars that have done this. They've broken it down to the bare essentials, and you'll find it always amasses to something considered to be the Godhead. And there is the multiplicities of powers outside of the Godhead that is God, but the Godhead, that which is the essentialness of it, is 3. Make sense? Don't make sense?
No, bro, you're being paid by the Christians and the Jews, bro.
Don't eat. Callum, can I just interject quickly and say that the receipts you provided, they all seem to check out as usual. Also, I think we need an atheist hour, right? Reason being is because sometimes people misunderstand what certain things mean, and I think you might be the guy to clear up any misconceptions that people have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just an idea I'd like to float out there.
Boy, when you're ready, and when ANSAR scientific method is ready as well, yeah, and we get Rob on here as well, then we're gonna do the atheist hour. Don't try to rope me in to do it all by myself.
Okay, all right.
And then all my religious friends start throwing eggs at me now.
Nah, that's all right. Listen, there's eggs all over the spot, man. Don't worry, we'll shield you with our atheist Satanism or whatever people think that we're devils or whatever it is.
No, I'm down for doing that. Just choose a day. Choose a day that you think is best. Not Fridays.
No, not Friday.
But any day between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday to Wednesday, we can choose to do that.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. After the show, I'll DM you or something, and answer as well.
All right, perfect. Yeah. I like that. All right. Anything else, family? What are we saying?
Yeah, I have another thing to add. I need to shut my mouth. Right. Basically, this is mainly at M Stacks because he seems really firmly set in his ways and unwilling to budge, which, to be fair, is a little bit of a shame. But I'd like to know why people like what's the bloody guy's name? Is it Majid Nawaz? Yeah, Majid Nawaz. He's I don't know what to call him, but he's like a secular Muslim. He seems to get a lot of hate, right? Now, I'd like to know, is the hate because he's not doing the book exactly the way people think he's doing it? Or like what? Yeah, if someone's around who can answer that for me, that would be good, because I've literally just heard him challenge some of the things that don't sit well with me personally, like stoning to death, 100 lashes, all that silly stuff. He challenges those things and asks for them to just be not removed, but circumvented or circumnavigated. Now, would somebody like M Stacks or anyone in the chat or panel say that those things are wrong fundamentally, or should they remain as like a staple in Islam in 2018?
Why would it be separate from it? So it's not separate from him, it's just distinct from him.
So my answer to that would be, yeah. So him saying he's probably a secular Muslim, and he's basically trying to reform Islam into what Christianity is today, where they say homosexuality is allowed, all this is allowed, and in the Sharia or in the Quran, this type of stuff is absolutely not allowed. So him trying to reform Islam is actually going against the teachings of Islam, where Allah says the Quran will never be unchanged, and this is the law, this is the perfect law for you all mankind. So when we as Muslims stick to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, we're actually Muslims in the way that it has been presented to us. We don't like to change anything and let it suit the 21st century and how the Western think, and they try to reform the Quran and they try to reform the Sunnah. All of this, we don't oblige to this.
Yeah, I hear that, brother. Believe you me, I do hear that. But what I'm saying is, like, if we go through the Quran and the Hadiths and we just take out things that go against our innate conscious and say, look, actually, maybe throwing rocks at somebody until they're dead is probably let's not do that anymore. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. But then there would be no need for me to be a Muslim anymore. I wouldn't be a Muslim. If you take all that out.
No, that's not true. You still love Muhammad. You still love Allah and pray to Allah. Just because you don't stone people to death, that doesn't take you out of the fold, bro.
That doesn't necessarily. No, you're talking about stoning. Where's that? That's not.
Yeah, no, just like, obviously I'm going for the extreme stuff, but this is exactly what I mean. Like, stoning somebody to death, 100 lashes, and all this, chucking gays off buildings and all this stuff. Listen,
That's not Quran though. That's not Quran though.
no.
obviously.
I know it's not Quran. I know a lot of that is Hadith. But what I'm saying is, like, surely, like, we could go through the Quran together as just human beings and say, all right, look, stoning to death. Oh, I'm not too sure about that. Let's take that out. And then, like, 100 lashes and just the stuff that you think to yourself, all right, would I like this to happen to my mum? Saying like that's the benchmark. Like, if you don't want this to happen to your mum, then we should be able to say, oh, let's take that bit out. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I like the way you're thinking, man. You just take everything you don't like out and then keep what you like in it. That's what you're saying in general terms, you know? Am I right?
Not me personally, because remember, I'm not a Muslim, so none of that stuff applies to me. But I'm saying, like, you guys who are in the fold of Islam, like, surely those are the types of conversations that should be had. Like, all right, I get the whole thing about you don't want the West to dictate to you and you don't want to be like Christians. And I'm not going to lie, there are obvious things that set you apart from the likes of Christians, Jews, and what have you. But I'm saying surely we should look inwards and say, like, I'm going to keep saying the stoning bit because, you know, that to me is like, all right, maybe that was the thing back then, but it's like, it's not now. For instance, Michael Jackson, the way he used to dress back then, at the time, it was cool. But if you see a guy dressed like that on the road today, it's like, ooh, I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. So basically, let's reform the Quran and the Sunnah. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I know why you're asking me the question like that, because I know exactly what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, but my point still remains, yeah? Like, if you read the Quran and you were to take out the stuff that goes against your conscience, right?
Like what? I don't think you will find anything.
Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I've sat there and read the Quran and all the hadiths and all the rest. I'm not gonna lie to you like that. But I know certain things that don't sit well with me. For instance, stoning to death, blah 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 blah. Okay. If stoning to death is in the Quran or the hadith, then surely we should be able to come together as human beings and say, you know what, actually, let's just take that bit out.
Ultra.
Why? Well, it's a punishment.
Let's quickly just see. I just want to see if we can get a broad. We're saying about like the little individual things. Let's go to the broader aspect, the category itself. Are you saying that the stuff that judicially you disagree with, or is there anything else outside of the judicial laws and regulations that you're making?
No, because like if I'm honest with you, Carol, Muslims are going to be Muslims, Christians are going to be Christians, Kemeks are going to be Kemeks. Like, each man's religion is his journey, it's his road. I literally don't have a problem with it. The only thing that I'm worried about with Islam in particular is like the unwillingness to budge. And in my mind, it's just going to come across as an insult, but I don't mean it to be. But I read somewhere that only a fool doesn't change his mind, and I feel like, all right, look, I would say, yeah, but it's I don't even know what I'm saying, if I'm honest, because I feel like, obviously, I know the stoning to death. If I'm correct, I believe that's part of the Sharia, if as a punishment under Sharia compliant conditions and all the rest of it, and that's fine, because not all of Sharia is bad. Yeah, let's just get that clear right off the bat. Not all of the Sharia is bad. However, there are some things that don't sit well with me personally. And if I'm honest, this is an assertion, but I believe if you talk to anyone who was born between 1975 and now and ask them, stoning to death, really?
Also, it's like the brutality of the punishment which you're actually against. So do you want them to be killed like as quickly, as humanely as possible? Is that what you're saying?
No, to be honest with you, like I said, I'm actually in a roundabout way. Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, surely we can reform the Quran.
Okay, so you're saying they change the method of the killing,
No,
right?
I'm
That's
being
what.
honest,
Lethal
bro.
injection, basically.
Let's
I'm
not
against
kill at all.
killing, right? I'm
Let's
against
not
killing.
kill at all.
Yeah, but the problem is I'm reluctant to say outright reform the Quran because I know the immediate response is going to be go F yourself. It's not going to happen. Allah. Da, da, da. That's why I don't want to say just out and out reform. I want to say surely, like if something doesn't sit well with you or goes against your conscience, you can either avoid it or circumnavigate it, right? And
Bro,
not
if it,
Are you against the
the
death penalty?
punishment is there for, bro, is the punishment is there for the crime. It's not like they're just randomly killing, stoning people. There must be a reason.
Listen, no, don't say things like that because I didn't assume that. And
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, sorry, go on, bro.
Yeah, well, I think, well, at least from my perspective, from what I've studied on Islam, it's not just a religion. You're talking about a social order. You're talking about a political system, economics. You're talking about all these different aspects that are rolled into one. So if you're going to try to eliminate or curb or take away the political aspect, then it's no longer Islam. If you're going to take away the economic aspect, it's no longer Islam. So I think you have to see Islam in its totality, that it's a multifaceted thing. So I think for people to claim that it's just a religion is kind of, I would say disingenuous at the least. So if you take that multifaceted approach, I think you'll see that what you're asking for or what you're, calling for is, I think, maybe I would say misguided at best, because once you take away one aspect of it, then it's no longer Islam.
No.
So,
And do you know what? Do you know what? To be honest with you, I understand what you just said. This is why I'm reluctant, as I said like 4 or 5 times. I'm reluctant to just come out and say outwardly reform Islam. And I understand that like the whole cherry picking argument. I get it. But what I'm saying is, what am I saying? I'm just saying, like, if you like, for instance, if like, let's just say M Stacks, because he's hard on this dean, yeah. Let's just say one day M Stacks said, as a thought experiment, right, the part in the Sharia that says the punishment for this, that, and that is stoning to death, I'm just gonna circumnavigate that part. Does that take him out of the fold of Islam? In my subjective opinion, it does not.
Let me try to help you now. And also, you spoke
Yeah,
before.
please try to help me, bro. Please try to help me.
So listen, you're using your ultra lens in it. I know your lens is kind of atheist, love, all of this, and you spoke before in it. But let me try to help you right now in it. So once you come to the conclusion, there's a creator. So now you come to the conclusion there's a creator, yeah. And then you come to the conclusion that the book of the creator, the way he speaks to the creator, the way he orders, the way you sustain, the way you propagate your life is through the Quran. Now you come to the conclusion that the Quran is the book of the creator, like myself and other Muslims. But then once you accept that fact, you accept it totally. You accept the total Quran, you accept the total everything the Prophet taught. But once you start cherry picking and you say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I would believe that will take you the full out of Islam. That's why I don't try to do what you're saying. And that's what the Quran teaches itself. So I understand where you're coming from, although I understand where you're coming from. But the Quran actually says, this is unchanged book, you'll never change, all of this. So
But why would you kill anyone based on a belief? I mean, that point goes beyond my understanding, I mean, it's insane.
It's a belief to you, but my reasoning is it's become a fact to me that there's a creator. It's become a fact to me.
Yeah, but your reasoning it's not a fact per definition.
Yeah, true is my opinion. I understand that. It's my opinion.
So you kill somebody based on an opinion that a creator said to stone. I mean.
No. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to help you to come in the shoes of a believer. Right now, I think you're atheist and Ultra is an atheist. So you're trying to use your lens and trying to subjugate your opinions on what's right and what's wrong.
No. That's not what I'm doing, bro. I was clear. I was clear to be said I don't want to. Yeah, sorry, Kalam, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, right? There is loads of different forms of Islam, right? So, for example, right, what we're so used to in the UK is this Salafi version of Islam, right? This is the new craze that's now crept in. I'm pretty sure M Stacks, would you describe yourself as a Salafi?
Salafi,
Hello?
yeah, Salafi Sunni, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what these brothers are. But if you go around the whole world, everybody's not practicing this whole stoning and this like hard body, harsh Islam and these harsh jurisprudence. Like there's four different main schools of fiqh within inside of Islam, right? And there's, for example, there is the Hanafi, there's the Maliki, there is the Shafi'i, and there's also the Hanbali. Now, not all of them has this strictness about them. Other, madhabs or other jurisprudence take other things into consideration. So they would do as what my good brother Ultra Funky is talking about, is looking at, like, for example, your culture, your customs. What does the UK? What's the norms in the UK, right? And how does the rulings of Islam fit around that? Rather than trying to make some crazy rulings of, what's it called, stoning certain people to death. Like, certain schools of thought won't say, let's stone people to death because they've committed adultery. They'll say, let's see what the climate is like and what would be a fit punishment for this people rather than stoning. Does that make sense? They don't interpret it in the hardline way that how the Salafists do.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, Callum. That's what I was trying to get at. But do you know what it is? You just made me realize in one sentence what it is. My mistake is I'm kind of lumping all like Muslims as like Salafis, Sunnis, and stuff like that. That was my mistake. So
I never
look, I
said I
learned
agree.
something.
I never said I agree with what you said. I'm just trying to contextualize and generalize everything. You said, why don't we just change some bits of the Quran and just take out some bits that don't agree with our conscience and how we but that's not Salafist. That's not, everyone agrees with this. All the four madhabs agree with the Quran will never be reformed. So I don't see where Kalam's coming from.
No,
but
they would.
what about if it's something you just that doesn't sit well with you personally? Like, would you just say, all right, well, it's in the Quran, so I'm just going to go with it?
Yeah. So, for example, they not all Muslims interpret the Quran in the same way, right? So, not all the madhabs would interpret the Quran in the same way. So, for example, you've got the Salafi Hanbali school of thought would say, yeah, you can have sex with a 9-year-old, no problem. But if you go to something like a Hanafi or a Maliki, they'll say, nope, the youngest you can have sex with a woman is 18 years of age. So as you can see, there is a massive difference in ideology. There's a 9 years difference. One is child molesting and the other one is having consensual sex, right? So there's a massive way of interpreting the Quran. Not all of them interpret it the same way. And for example, the whole stoning somebody to death is not part of the Quran. The Quran doesn't teach that at all. Doesn't teach no stoning to death. But then you've got the hardline Salafis and so forth will tell you, yep, stone them to death. But then the other groups will say, no, fam, what are you talking about? That's not in the Quran. If it's not in the Quran, we ain't following it. So again, it's down to the different schools of thoughts and their interpretations.
Okay. Can I just ask another question? Right, Callum, or not necessarily Callum, but like Muslims believe that the Quran is the inerrant, unchanging word of their creator. Is that correct?
No, that's Salafis yet again.
Yeah,
that is. This is my mistake. Wait, all right. Let me
1 minute.
Let me just ask one more question, yeah, and then I want to mute up, right? So the Quran is the word of God and it can't be changed. Does the hadith or does any hadith meet that same criteria?
No.
Right. Okay. Do you see where the problem is?
No, are you talking about?
You do, don't you?
Yeah, I see where you come from. I see where you come from. But listen, don't mute your mic until you answer this question. Are you saying let's reform the Quran or let's reform the Hadith? We take the Quran as a precedence.
No. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? It's not my place to tell anyone to do anything except my children. When I tell them to do something, they better do it. But in relation to a man's religion and he's on his journey and his road, it's not my place to tell anyone to do anything. However, I would say, surely as a species, right, we shouldn't do things that go against our conscience. I don't know. That's just how I feel in it.
Yeah, I think the better way of saying it is not to change the Quran, rather change your methodology of reading or interpreting the Quran. That would be the best thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? There will always be people who will follow it like the old school way, the literal way. That will always be happening if Islam would not reform.
Yeah. Well, it's not the scripture that needs to be reformed. Let me give you an example, right? So we had the witch hunts, right? The witch hunts back in the day, right? Now, the witch hunts is something that you can find, you can rationalize, you can justify the witch hunts by utilizing the Old Testament, the Bible, and so forth to say, nope, New Testament says that these people should be put to.
You're muted, Kalam.
You can just mute. No, he dropped out still. He's gonna come back. I think he was using his phone or something. But there's other accounts still online still. There we go.
What happened? Yeah. So you can always use like certain verses to justify these people being put to death. But of course, the Christians of nowadays have changed their methodology or changed the way that they interpret the scriptures, right? It's still the same Bible. The Bible hasn't changed. It's still the same thing, but we don't have witch hunts today. You dig what I'm saying? Because their methodology of interpreting the scriptures has changed.
Kalam, Christians allow gay marriages in churches, bro. So there's that as well.
What do Christians do? I couldn't hear you properly.
They do gay. They allow gay couples to get married in churches.
That's so random. Like, random, bro.
I mean, do you want Muslims to do that as well?
Oh god, that is so random.
Well, how is it random?
You're saying change it. Like, do you think that the reason that we no longer have heresy hunts and show trials and things like that is because state and church are no longer fused together? I mean, wasn't that the main,
No, yo.
Because if you live in a theocracy, obviously, but if you separate the, I guess the religious institutions, from the government, then you're not going to get that kind of behavior, right? In my view.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I mean, honestly, but
Yo, I got booted out, man. What was that?
Yeah, same. We all did, bro. We all got kicked out. Hangouts is bugging, man. No, listen, M-Stacks, while I've quickly got you and no one's talking, yeah? I'm not saying like, just reform the Quran. I'm just saying like I don't know. It's weird that just because it's in the book and it's from God, if there's something in it that doesn't sit well with you, that you just go along with it because it's written down. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit automaton.
I see where you come from. I see where you come from. But listen, but you don't believe in the creator, yeah. So I see where you're coming from. But if you come from a religious point of view,
I'm saying for argument's sake, for the sake of this argument, I'm gonna just concede that there is a creator, and the creator that we're talking about is the one that Islam prays to and all the rest of it. Just for the sake of this argument. Yeah.
Yeah, say no. Go on.
So I'm just saying, if he's written something down or prescribed something to you guys that just it doesn't sit well with you and it makes you uncomfortable.
Let me give you an instance here.
Then I don't know. It's a bit strange that you would just go with it just because God said so. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know. Like I said, Kalam explained it to me anyway. He said, "Look,
but remember,
there are different schools of thought and and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool."
You remember you said, yeah, for the sake of argument, you're gonna say there's a creator, yeah?
Yes, sir.
You just said that. Okay, bang on.
Yes, sir.
So now, if the creator, let's say, he gave you a law and told you this, would you defy that creator that created you in the first place?
Yeah. All right. Let me tell you the truth. Yeah. I'm gonna take it back to my atheist lens. Yeah. In my opinion, the two people responsible for my immediate creation are my mother and father, but then obviously my granddad, my nan, and all the rest of it. But I'm gonna just say my mom and my dad created me if one of my parents said something to me, you're right, Brian. Yeah, take care, brother. Yeah, if one of my parents said something to me that didn't sit well with my conscience, I would explain to them, Mom, Dad, I'm being honest. Like, I respect you more than anyone else in the world, but here's why I can't do this. I mean, I'm going to listen to everything else you said. Study, work hard, be nice to everyone, raise your children, blah blah blah. But that one particular thing you told me to do, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me.
So you just change your paradigm now, yeah? You just changed it. You said there's a creator. Would you follow his laws? That's a quick question. Would you follow his laws? If you right now,
yeah. No. Listen,
depends on what laws.
If there's a creator, and and he's giving me laws, and he says, yeah, follow this, follow that, I'll say, yeah, all right, cool. But if something happened, and this is another thing as well,
like the story of Abraham, yeah. You told him, yo, bring your child, bang, sacrifice.
Oh, yeah, no. From an atheist standpoint, that story is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. You're using your lens and trying to focus on religious books. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Try to put yourself in a book, in the legs of a Christian.
Even if I would believe it, I would disagree with God and not sacrifice my kid.
Then you don't believe in the creator. If you disagree with the creator, how can you say you believe in it?
Why can't you disagree?
The thing is, the creator already knew that Abraham would sacrifice the son, so he didn't need to do it, bro. It's just a silly story, to be fair.
Son was
he's trying to test Abraham, see if he would follow what the creator told him. But he knew.
Wasn't a test if you already know the answers, bro.
Nah, but Abraham never knew it. But I'm trying to say.
No, so Abraham didn't know the answers, but God knew the answers, so it was a pointless test.
It was like a test. It was like to show the people, yeah, you have to follow the creator. Whatever he tells you to do is like parable, innit? There's a reasoning behind it, why he did it, whatever he did, bang. That's all I'm trying to say to you, yeah. So you just said, for argument's sake, let's believe in the creator.
Yeah.
And again, you just contradict yourself, and then you say, he tells you to do
just because there's a creator, I can't. This is the thing. Let me take it back to yes, there's a creator. I'm going to take it back to that stance, right? But it's difficult for me to understand why, if there is a creator, he would want me to murder one of my children who I love so much, and that he knows how I feel about them. Why would you ask me to murder my own child? Like, what are you trying to prove? What's the point of this? You already know I'm loyal to you. So, what are you doing?
Because it will change your life as well.
All you're doing is scarring the child.
I see what you're saying.
And scarring the father of the child. And then, like, imagine that knife was like...
Ultra, are you talking about the Abraham thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, there are some scholars, who argue that it was not from God. The message for him to kill his child was not from a God, but it was a dream that he had, which he believed was from God, and which is why God intervened and replaced the child with the ram, basically. And what the story is supposed to represent on a larger scale is because the ram is supposed to represent sort of pride and sort of these kinds of things. And so what's supposed to represent is sacrificing your pride and become more humble and before God, basically, and not really about killing your child. Because as you said, why would God ask your own child?
Yeah, but if I'm honest with you, M-Stacks, again, that's my ignorance at play, because I'm only going off the narrative that I've been told. And as far as I knew, God said, murder the boy. He didn't want to, but he was about to do it anyway, because like to show how faithful he was. But the story as it was presented to me, until you just mentioned that there's another narrative, was literally just child harm for no reason.
Who's the owner? No, me and Mike. His name is. Go on, Ultra.
Yeah, who's that? Is that Big Zoots? Big Zoots, mute your mic, please.
Imagine you are someone's son, and your father is having a revelation from God and tries to kill you. Imagine you are that kid.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's child harm.
That's child harm. But listen, who's the owner of that child? Who made that child for you in the first place?
That's
the father and the mother.
That's not. Nah, see, you come back to your paradigm. I told you.
Who owns the child? The child owns itself. Because wasn't it like it was not a baby or something, right? It was an older kid.
No, basically,
You guys are too soft, man. It's okay.
it's too
okay.
it's too hard to explain something to someone that doesn't believe in the creator. So we were just trying to say, for argument's sake, we believe in the creator. But now you came back to the fact that the child is from the mother and the father. But we as believers of the creator, we say that's from the creator, not from the mother and the father.
Yeah, man.
But
These
it
guys are
doesn't
big
matter
one.
nobody has the right to just kill out of a religious belief. Nobody.
Why not?
Because it's not a fact. You can't
Why
demonstrate
can't we
it to
kill?
be true. You can't demonstrate it to be true because you take an innocent life. You take away someone's right to
Why is that
live
wrong? Why is that wrong?
because you kill someone. You end
Why
someone's
is killing
life
someone wrong? Why is ending someone's life wrong in the atheist paradigm?
because you increase suffering. You
Why
make
is suffering?
someone
Why is
suffering.
increasing suffering wrong?
Why is it
Did
wrong?
you just say? Did you just
Exactly.
ask why is increasing suffering wrong?
Nah, I disagree with that, brother. But all I'm trying to say, yeah, do you like agree with the death penalty?
I'm saying in the atheist paradigm, there's no way to prove objective morality. That's what I'm saying. All right, I'm gone.
No, maybe that doesn't even exist.
All I'm trying to say, Ultra, do you agree with the death penalty in some certain matters?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, see, this is where my morality falls down. Yeah, because for me, pedophiles, I just want them dead. Right?
See. Nah, I like that.
No,
So
but
right
listen. It's not because of
You say
selfish
rights
reasons.
that, you know.
Yeah, I
It's
like that. Yo, pedophiles, I want them gone as well. Yo,
Yeah,
I'll be
but do you know what it
honest
is?
with
It's
you.
just I want the reason why I'm just so hateful towards pedophiles is because they're harming children. They're harming children.
Yeah.
Like if M-Stacks, if me and you got into a fight and you knocked me out, right? That was a fight between you and me, and I got hurt. Right? That's it. And that's where it ends. I'm going to go to my GP. I'm going to say, doctor, can you fix my jaw, please? M-Stacks rocked it. And then that's it. However, I'll
But listen,
be out of
yeah, I
commission
agree.
for like a week, maybe. Right?
Well, I'm trying to say,
But with pedophiles, you ruin lives.
bang on.
Like
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
But to take that life also ruins other lives. Because that pedophile also has parents and also has family. And you know
then
what?
where's the justice, man? Where's the justice?
How do you know that pedophile really abused a child? How do you know it wasn't the government just using that pedophile to hide one of their crimes? Where I live in Holland, that's one of the reasons why death penalty is forbidden, because too many innocent people are being killed because of mistakes, lies, what was found out after the person was already dead. And you can never redo that. So taking a life makes you nothing better than the one who does a crime.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why the thing is, I was stuttering and starting because I know my morality fall down when it comes to pedophiles, because I don't know, it's strange, right? People that fuck with you. Sorry, Callum.
Yeah, it's horrible. Of course, it's horrible.
People that ruin the lives of innocent children. I'm being sorry. I can't have any heart for them, and I'm being honest.
Ultra, see that, and right now you said you agree for the death penalty of pedophiles, yes, but someone else would disagree with you. See that brother and I disagree with you, so it's all subjective. That's what I said to you.
This is why it's good. This is why it's good to have the debate. It's not. I feel like it's more healthy to say, all right, one atheist agrees with it, one atheist doesn't, and then we sit around the table and we discuss, rather than say, nope, it's come from an inerrant, all perfect, all just, merciful, creator of the Lord, and we are unwilling to budge. Do you see what I mean? The difference is we can have the discussion to say, all right, Ultra, your position may be incorrect, and then I'll say, I don't think so, and then you'll school me, and then we learn.
Yeah, but humans are fallible beings.
Sorry. Let's close on the show, right? Because we're talking and we're just talking. I don't want this show to go on for like four hours or so. Let me actually see if the panel members would like us to open up a new show where we could just continue talking on. where we can just end it here. So if you guys are okay with us ending the show right now, hit up a number 1. If you guys want a new show to pop up to continue the conversation, just hit a number 2, and I'll let me know whether I should open up a new show.
Yeah, all right, listen, our panel and everyone in the chat, listen, Ansar, jump on, and let's just do this atheist thing. Come on.
Yeah, bang on.
all you atheists are like the minions of Shaitan anyway. Like, you've been corrupted. You're like the puppets of Shaitan.
I hate to break it to you, Kalam, but Shaitan isn't real.
This is why religion can be such a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope the level of argument is going to be a bit better than that, brother, when we talking to the atheists. There's some better ways you could have this conversation. Yeah.
There you go. So right now I'm going to close down the show. Give me about 10 minutes or so for the new show to be up and running. And Answer, if you want to come on, let us know. Jump on this one right now, Answer, if you've got the link, and we can hook it up for us 3 to be on. Okay.
Yeah. Callum, take 10 minutes, relax, use the toilet, wash your hands, have something to eat, have a drink, and then I'll see you in 10, yeah?
All right. All right, family. So we're signing out right now. I'll see you guys on the other side. Man.